Good evening, Outrage crew. October 16th, 2019. How the fuck are you? Glad to be on the deck of the Outrage battleship once again. We got some tall Budweisers. Some buddy tall boys here. We're going to get into the thick of the shit-slinging moron show known as the Ohio Dem debate. I'm still getting errors on my damn OBS because apparently with the new update, the new friendly update that OBS just laid upon me, I now have to do a clean reinstall of my goddamn graphics drivers. Alright, hopefully we're coming through smooth. Hopefully we're coming through strong. Hopefully, you know, we're coming through on that fluid streaming. Stream last night didn't seem to have any problems. Alright, we're going to dig into it. Apparently James O'Keefe released his newest little batch of undercover videos here. We're going to get into it. Alright, what up, Florida Stacker? Oh, man. Outrage Chancellor, he's a little bummed out. Alright. Low on the funds here. I didn't have a good set at fourth wall tonight. I tried out 2 new jokes. I tried to add new tags to this Joker bit that I'm working on about the movie. And all the parts that I did tonight have worked independently together, independently in different sets. But then I tried to cram all the punchlines into one set. And my energy was just off tonight, you know. And then allegedly somebody had to catch a beat down in the goddamn parking lot. All right, some hefty individuals there. They laid the smack down on each other, you know, outside the mic. What up, David? What up, Tax Cato? Oh yeah. I was listening back to the Outrage Triple Threat with Kevin Pollard and Clean Talking, and you know, we need to get a little we need to get something in here to calm down the echo, but the audio was pretty good overall, and I liked when when Tax Cattle called in, you know, we got into female leadership, and you know, Kevin Pollard didn't know what to think, and you know, I don't know, dude. I was listening back to it. It was a good goddamn time. We're going to get Kevin Pollard back on soon. We're trying to get Kevin Bennett back on soon. What up, Trees? David says, I was watching some Mad TV sketches earlier. That was a funny show. The jokes couldn't be done today, though. Oh, that was the thing, that Mad TV went places where Saturday Night Live really couldn't on, you know, the network TV there. And they were a little bit more risque. I love Will Sasso on there. And who else was on Mad TV that was good? Fucking Aries Spears. Aries Spears has turned into like a weirdo social justice warrior, though, lately. And he's gotten, you know, he's over 300 pounds and he's just talking about how he can't catch a break because he's black and all this shit. And, you know, the whole victimhood mentality. David says you picked a bad time to get into comedy. Well, no, I'm going through my early years right now, and then as soon as I hit the craftsmanship prime, I think it's the country will be primed for what the Outrage Chancellor is delivering. All right, I think we're going to go back on an upswing of boundary pushing comedy, because it's already starting to trend that way. Because people are just so tired of the PC tongue holding, and oh my god, I can't to subjectively manage everyone's feelings in the room, and oh my god, if anybody's had a memory about any topic I do and I said that's traumatic for them, I wouldn't want to have them relive it. It's also dumb, dude. It's the behavior of children, you know. And I was listening to Brooke Baldwin when she was talking about Trump, and they're just so out of touch. Like, she hosts some show on fucking CNN or MSNBC. It's all the same. She's some ditzy looking blonde chick, I think Brooke Baldwin, but she was talking about Trump. trashing Joe and Hunter Biden. And, you know, he was just saying, you know, Hunter, you're a drug addict, you're a loser. Your father was never considered smart. He was never considered a good politician. You know? And he just calls the impeachment probe bullshit. And she's like, oh my God, can you believe the highest, most sacred office in the country? And he's saying the word bullshit. Can you? And she actually repeated the quote. She's like, well, I am just quoting the president. Bullshit. Well, if it's so harmful to say the word, why are you repeating the word? If it's just about the goddamn word. But this government worship that the people in the fake media do is just so disgusting and off-putting to anybody with a spine. Like, they can clearly see what the fuck is going on. The CIA runs the media, and they, you know, refuse to criticize any of these establishment politicians. And Trump is always the bad guy. You know, it's you know, as we saw in the first exposed CNN from James O'Keefe, the rock solid proof there. Jeff Zucker is just, you know, up there screaming about, oh my God, it's all Trump all day. You know, scrap every other story. We're on impeachment. I've got an axe to grind. And he's just like this fucking demon troll casting down the orders from the you know, the mountaintop of, you know, incompetence down upon his little lemmings there, so they could do his bidding, yes, and get rid of the legitimate populist president who actually tapped into what Americans wanted in their policies. It's not what he's doing, it's how he's doing it. Oh, he's saying bullshit on TV when we try to, you know, get him impeached for bullshit. You can't call it bullshit. Yeah, Florida Secretary says saying fuck Trump is okay though. Well, that's progressive. David says it's true. You could look at a disaster in the creative fields as a nice canvas to paint something new when everyone else is tired of years of nonsense. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it right there. You know, it's just teetering on absolutely nobody giving a fuck about, you know, the identity politics PC agenda. And they're just grasping and holding on to anything, dude. Their victimhood narrative. They're grasping and clutching, you know, and nobody's buying it anymore. But it's still worked its way so much into mainstream entertainment and culture that, you know, there's still a bunch of young people that are heavily propagandized coming out of our educational institutions there. You know, they've been educated to hate straight white males and think it's some kind of complex theory. Oh my God, intersectionality and postmodernism, and oh my God, I have a soy latte and a blue haircut, and oh, I'm so complex and multi-layered. I'm like an onion of resentment, you know, and I smell just like one. And it's like, oh, it's so complex. Well, what does it fundamentally come down to? And they're like, well, straight white males are the problem. So you're just opposite world Hitler. We get it. And more people are getting it. And these kids that are being indoctrinated into it, you know, they're still in their late teens, early 20s. They, you know, they're going to wise up. Just like the outrage chancellor, he voted for Obama when he was 18. All right? Got to have a little wise up period. I think in the next 10 years, real comedy is going to be back. All right, and it's gonna explode in the you know, the weirdo victimhood you know, enthusiasts. All right, are gonna be relegated to their little fucking alt rooms where they do their bullshit. Tax Cattle getting on his goddamn misogyny again. He says women are just children with a collection of pathologies. They will destroy everything if you let them. Well, we're not going to speak that grandiose about all women. All right. Hashtag not all women. Just everyone I've encountered thus far. All right. I'm sure there's some unicorns out there. All right. You know, people are individuals. Should never judge them collectively now. All right, you should never assume that a woman is just a sack of pathologies whenever you meet her. All right, but it's good to be trepidatious. It's good to use the trends, all right, to make prognostications. All right, but you don't immediately judge based on the group averages, all right? We treat people as individuals. You may run into one of those unicorns that has a 180 IQ and, she's smoking hot. What's up, Burgess? Sorry, I'm getting my atomizer here refueled up with the goddamn vape liquid. Tax Kettle says, you and Clean should be on stage together and do racist, bigot, homophobe stuff. Well, we had an idea. I mean, we still got to do the street roasting thing. So it's like, we want to desensitize people to offensive jokes and then tell them straight to their face and watch people laugh as you make fun of them. Because people fundamentally, if they know you're joking around, they like being made fun of. That's why roasts are some of those popular things that Comedy Central still does in the name of actual comedy. Until they, I heard on the Alec Baldwin roast recently, they had Caitlyn Jenner on there, and one of the female comics, Nikki Glazer, I heard her on a podcast, and she said that Comedy Central asked her to take out one of her jokes about Bruce Jenner hitting that chick with her, hitting I think it was a woman with her car, and like damn near killing her or something, or they may have ended up dying or something. It was like, I can't remember the particulars, but it was like some dig at, her running into somebody with her car, and they were like, oh my God, Caitlyn doesn't like that joke. Could you please take it out? That's not what we're trying to do here. Dude, you hit somebody with your car. What up, Clean talking? But yeah, I had this idea to do the roasting thing as a show, like at the Fourth Wall, and we could play little games like, is that more true or is that racist? I was thinking we'd call it like the Oreo show or something, just a white black theme, and we could just dig into like all the racial, everything that's on people's minds that they don't say. Because, I don't think there's nearly as much racial tension as the media likes to hype up. When, white and black people generally get around each other, we get along like 99% of the time. At least in the Outrage Chancellor's case. All right. So, putting on a little show like that, or doing just a standard roast would be funny. The street roasting we still got to do. And we're planning on a sketch this week, but goddamn it, we got to get our shit together. The Outrage Chancellor's bank account is so goddamn low. Fuck. We're planning on shooting a sketch today, dude. Planning on shooting a goddamn sketch today. Oh, Clean Talking says, is my Wi-Fi fucking up? Does it look, is the video not smooth? Tax Kettle says, it's not individual women's, it's women as a whole. Tax Kettle says, it's in their nature to submit to evil. Oh my God, dude. I don't know about all of that. We're on a spectrum of individuality, but there are trends that can be measured. All right. My contention is one of the trends is that women, are not good at leading men, and they're not good at, wielding power. They tend to get a little scrappy and nasty, and, they're not good at talking shit and not getting offended. All right, the emotions always come into play. These are the trends I've observed, all right, but individual women buck those trends every goddamn day. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we had a little Democratic debate. Oh my God, they were debating Which one is more retarded? We can get into a few videos here. I got a little collection. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats debate in Ohio. Here's Cory Booker saying some allegedly false shit. Let's check it out.
I want to say one last thing, and I feel qualified to say this as the vegan on the stage. Going back to the fact that it's rich to me.
Of course, you're vegan. All right. And I saw another clip on Cory Booker where he made this grandiose point and he stopped everybody. He's like, cause I care about my mother and my sisters, and women are people. And Tax Cattle's head exploded. People? No, they submit to evil. You know. But it's just hilarious he felt the need to try and make that point. Don't all forget, all right, women are people too. As if anybody except Tax Cattle is making that argument, you know.
That we asked 3 people about their health. When looking at this stage, we know that the most unhealthy person running for the presidency in 2020 is Donald Trump. Thank you.
You're standing next to a 78-year-old that just had a heart attack. Trump is a goddamn bull, dude. Are we going to sit here and pretend like body fat is some marker of, you know, of fitness here? I mean, at a certain point it is, but look at goddamn Andy Ruiz, the heavyweight champion of the world, dude. He's all fucking swole up and jiggling everywhere. Oh my God, I knew Cory Booker was a goddamn vegan. He's so cucked out and low T. Dude. And he says vegan as if it's fucking healthy. What in the fuck, dude? Clean Talking says, I just saw Jamie Kennedy kill. I like Jamie Kennedy. You see him at the Laugh Factory? I like Jamie Kennedy. I listened to Nick Swardson tell a story on Industry Standard, a podcast with Barry Katz. He was telling the story about how he wrote Malibu's Most Wanted, and he knew Jamie. They were both young comics at the time, and you know, and Nick Swardson just wrote that script in a notebook by hand, you know, and it blew up into this big movie idea. You know, and then the cucked out writers at the goddamn studio tried to take credit for Nick Swardson's script, and they went in and vultured it and, you know, edited it to pieces and everything. But yeah, that's B-Rad. That's that Jamie Kennedy. Tree says, Booty Judge owned Beto tonight. Let's check it out. Burgess says, I'll put it straight. Women often come off as bossy tryhards. This doesn't instill confidence in them. Quite the opposite. Well, they're overcompensating because they obviously feel inadequate to do jobs that men typically occupy, and so they feel like they have to overcompensate with bossiness. And I'm a take charge kind of gal, and you know. Nothing gets your dicks off quicker. Nothing makes you want to do the opposite than a woman, you know, getting all haughty and fucking, you know, steam coming out of her ears. Like, you need to do this. And it typically works with, you know, dudes who still have mommy complexes, who never figured out how to talk to women and you know, maintain your own personality and don't succumb to every one of their goddamn wishes. But for guys who aren't affected by that, there's nothing that pisses a woman off more when she's trying to be all, you know, powerful and cool, and then, you know, she runs into a guy who doesn't give a fuck. And they end up wanting to fuck that guy. The guy that just like, I see what you're trying to do here, and it's not working on me. Your little magic spell, all right. I'm on good terms with my mom. All right. I didn't have any goddamn resentment. You know, I'm doing fine. I get plenty of pussy. We're okay. All right, there's no deficit here. You're not filling any, you know, vacuous hole in my brain, bitch. You're not stepping in and giving orders here. David says, I'm trying to get Nick to dress up like Paula Poundstone 90s style and pursue a career like that. Are you talking about the shoulder pads? Dude, I don't need shoulder pads. All right. I was almost going to go to the gym, and then I was like, man, we had a Dem debate tonight. We got a stream, dude. God damn it. You know, what's up, Aaron Freeman? Of course, he beat me to the punch with a Paula Poundstone shoulder joke. Damn it. She had inflated shoulders, dude. She had fake shoulders. All right. She wasn't doing the goddamn lateral raises. You know, she wasn't getting in there and making it happen like the Outrage Chancellor. She wasn't making explosions go off in the background when he goes in the gym, dude. She was not setting the lunk alarm off when she goes in the goddamn gym. All right. I'm an intimidator in the gym. All right. I just sit in a chicken shoulder stance when I make arguments on the Outrage Battleship, and you guys understand, and it's fine. What's up, Vanessa? Vanessa's so base. She says no one likes bossy women, not even other women. And feminists try to make this some big, like, you know, they make it some big, like, insult that, like, oh my God, don't call me bossy. Oh, when a guy does it, he's authoritative. When a woman does it, she's a bitch. And it's like, well, it's because you're overcompensating for a lack of security within yourself in the position. And so you're like, oh, you know, you're blowing up at people. You're getting overly emotional. You know, it's just, you know, it's on average, it's not the best situation to have women leading men in a business environment and, you know, any kind of social environment. You know, and women don't want to do it on average. They want a man who takes control of shit, and they can be like, all right, he's the alpha. I feel comfortable now. Women like that security. They don't want to be leading, you know, and then they got to be the fucking, you know, the lion and the pride and look out for threats on the perimeter, dude. They're not into that. Where's Heaven? And I love that Heaven is just marked by 3 knife emojis now. Heaven is, who knows? All right. She's, you know, somewhere frolicking with the pussy eater. Somewhere, you know, frolicking and not earning any goddamn money. You know. That's all I can assume is what's happening. Burgess says, the Democratic debate tonight was such an embarrassingly contrived piece of political theater. It wasn't even good, LOL. I think most of us watched for the laughs. Yeah, I was looking for some spicy moments here, and it seemed like it was pretty bland. Let's do the Pete Buttigieg Beto sparring match here. Let's watch 2, you know, little sparring, you know, beta cocks here.
Mr. Mayor Buttigieg, just yesterday you referred to mandatory buybacks as confiscation and said that Congressman O'Rourke has been picking a fight to try to stay relevant. Your response on guns?
Well, Congressman, you just made it clear that you don't know how this is actually going to take weapons off the streets. If you can develop the plan further, I think we can have a debate about it, but we can't wait. People are dying in the streets right now. We can't wait for universal background checks that we finally have a shot to actually get through. We can't wait to ban the...
Oh, people are dying in the streets, so we need the government to step in and remove your ability to defend yourself. Oh my God, just put more dependence on the government. They're gonna be there for you, just like they're there for the homeless people with the war on poverty. And, you know, some people say that poverty is winning the war on poverty, but that's nonsense, all right? That's a Republican talking point. All right, that the war on poverty has failed and that there's massive homeless all over these goddamn cities across the nation. Dude, that's a Republican Fox News conspiracy theory. Okay? All right, and it's also a conspiracy theory that you can defend yourself with your own weapon. All right, you need the government there. You need your government daddy there, baby. And it's going to work just like prohibition. All right, and there's not going to be any, you know, Al Capone cartel individuals rising up as soon as they, you know, outlaw these goddamn firearms and make, you know, buying a gun even more difficult than it already is. You know, there's going to be no blowback and no black market activity, dude. You're just going to roll over and accept it. I can't have a weapon because the government doesn't think I can handle it. Oh, my God. I can't handle it. You know, take my privileges away, take my humanity away. I can't handle it. I just want, you know, Pete Buttigieg and Beto O'Cuck to take my goddamn firearms. I want Bernie to take all my money and spend my money for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a dumb fuck, Homer Simpson, straight white male. Just take all my shit. I don't know what I'm doing. Government help.
The sale of new weapons and high-capacity magazines so we don't wind up with millions more of these things on the street. We can't wait for red flag laws that are going to disarm domestic abusers and prevent suicides, which are not being talked about nearly enough as a huge part of the gun violence epidemic in this.
No, yeah, they don't talk about it because they want to make the narrative all about psychos going and shooting people up. Like, an overwhelming amount of the gun deaths that are reported are from suicide. Oh my God. We got to take those guns away and make suicide slightly more time-consuming and difficult, all right? They're going to have to Google how to tie a noose. You know, it's very complicated.
This country. We cannot wait for purity tests. We have to just get something done.
This is not a purity test. This is a country that loses 40,000 of our fellow Americans every year to gun violence. This is a crisis, and we've got to do something
30 of them put a gun in their own mouth. Keep going.
about it. And those challenges that you described are not mutually exclusive to the challenges that I'm describing. I want to make sure we have universal background checks and red flag laws and that we end the sale of these weapons of war. But to use the analogy of healthcare...
Because who's doing those background checks? Well, the government, all right? They have the moral superiority to decide if you are capable of handling a gun. Meanwhile... War in Iraq! Oh my God, dude. There's fucking hundreds of thousands of smoldering bodies, and now the big clusterfuck in the Middle East and all these regimes we've toppled and all the military bases across the goddamn planet. We're just wasting trillions of dollars going over there and playing with our dicks for the military-industrial complex, and that's what the government does. So of course they know how to use their lethal force effectively. They know how to do it, and you don't. Give up that freedom tax, cattle.
It would be as though we said, look, we're for primary care, but let's not talk about mental health care because that's a bridge too far. People need that primary care now, so let's save that for another day. No, let's decide what we are going to believe in, what we are going to achieve, and then let's bring this country together in order to do that.
We believe in more government power, more running your life. Give up your decision making, give up your free will, give up your consciousness to us. Sounds like the goddamn snake on the Jungle Book.
My fellow Americans, to those moms who demand action, to those students who march for our lives, who in fact came up with this extraordinary, bold peace plan.
Oh yeah, listen to the children, listen to the teenage children. They know the policy, all right? They know what they're doing. Listen to Greta and David Hogg, all right? They're our first couple, all right? You know, get together and just anoint them king and queen. Because they're young and they know what the old stuck in their ways conservatives and oh my God, the rational-minded libertarians and the stifled stick up their ass Christians. They don't understand what Greta and David understand. Give up your guns and give up all of your carbon usage, you goddamn swine out there, you evil capitalist swine. Damn it!
Calls for mandatory buybacks. Let's follow their inspiration and lead and not be limited by the polls and the consultants and the focus groups. Let's
Mayor
do what's
Buttigieg,
right.
your
We have
response?
time to do what's right.
Mayor Buttigieg?
The problem isn't the polls, the problem is the policy. And I don't need lessons from you on courage, political or personal. Everyone on this stage is determined to get something done.
He has the courage to get in that butthole, dude. He's not scared.
Everyone on this stage recognizes, or at least I thought we did, that the problem is not other Democrats who don't agree with your particular idea of how to handle this. The problem is the National Rifle Association and their enablers in Congress, and we should be united in taking the...
Oh yeah, advocating for rational, self-defense and exercising your freedom to own a firearm. That's all that NRA advocates. And these people are up here, oh my God, they're the reason that mass shootings are happening. Oh, they're basically promoting the mass shootings. Oh, just have a big neon sign, just shoot a bunch of people, and Ted Nugent endorses it, and they all endorse it. They just want death in the NRA, dude. Oh my God, get a gun and embrace death.
The fight to that.
That's a mischaracterization, Anderson. I've got to answer this. Never took you or anyone else on who disagrees with me on this issue. But when you, Mayor Buttigieg, describe this policy as a shiny object, I don't care what that meant to me or my candidacy, but to those who have survived gun violence, those who lost a loved one to an AR-15 and AK-47, March for Our Lives,
all 12 people out there,
formed in the courage of students willing to stand up to the NRA and conventional politics and poll-tested politicians. That was a slap in the face to every single one of those groups and every single survivor of a mass casualty assault with an AR-15 and an AK-47. We must buy them back.
Oh my God, the dead people, you slapped them in the face, Buttigieg. Oh my God, the tear jerking. Oh, dude, it's pulling at my damn heartstrings. Oh my God, Tex Kettle says MS-13 will protect us. I agree, dude. Give them all the guns. God damn it. What up, Skeezer? Tex Kettle says, y'all know no one died before guns. Oh, fuck. Aaron Freeman says, shouldn't they be speaking Spanish? Oh yeah, Tax Kettle says, women will settle with a beta male that allows them to control things, but their subconscious will start to bug them till the day they end it. Yeah, they don't like being in control. They don't want to win. They want a winner on average. And so they're not going to be, fully satisfied unless they have a male that is, higher status than them, who fucks them really hard and really good. That's when a woman is most satisfied. And when he commits to her and they have a beautiful family. Vanessa says, nobody spoke Spanish the entire night. I lost that bet. Oh, that was a good bet. You were definitely a favorite. All right, that was smart money. David says, I guess they figured they can't do gay stuff and Spanish language stuff in the same debate. Dude, there's no calculating. It was just purely by accident, dude. They don't know what they're doing. I'm surprised the tranny didn't pop up and take over the debate. I'm surprised they didn't have goddamn technical difficulties. There's always some goofy shit that happens. We're going to get into the Anderson Cooper softball question to Joe Biden. Skeezer says the flavor ban is going to reach you, Nick. Hit Oregon today. You're next. Oh my God! I don't know. There's a lot of vapors out here in California. I think we're going to resist. Hashtag resist the goddamn vaping ban here. Aaron Freeman says, have the Democrats banned guns in California? Seems as if Nick and his friends don't have any. Well, they have this, I don't know about what the qualifications to actually get a gun in California are, but I know how ridiculous the concealed carry thing is. Like, it's totally subjective and left up to the judge. You have to make your case that you live a life that includes imminent danger, and that you have to prove that you're like that you're in danger of needing to defend your life every night of your life. And so, you have to write an essay about why you get to exercise your natural rights as a human being to own a firearm. Prove it to me, tax cattle. You don't just get a concealed carry, Meanwhile, that judge has, he's on the goddamn, human sex trafficking, email list. He's getting all his little underage boys delivered to him, dude. He's on the goddamn network. He's probably got a dating app for his goddamn, sex trafficking. And he's up there telling me that I can't defend myself. But, the truth is the outrage chancellor just cannot afford a gun. All right. And hopefully Dave Kranick's buddy, Mike or Eric, I can't remember his goddamn name. All right. But hopefully he reaches out to the chancellor on the goddamn email there. And, hopefully I can get me a goddamn shotgun for the domicile. Although I will have to keep it hidden from heaven. All right. Because that would make me very nervous. Oh, what up, Alan James? Aaron Freeman says Buttigieg and Beto are really arguing about who's going to be the bottom. Oh, dude, it's a spirited goddamn debate. Captain Tex Cattle says 2 fags arguing this country is gone. Well, on the left side, it's crumbling very quick, and this is why Hillary Clinton is going to run. And it's patently obvious at this point. I mean, Bernie was the populist frontrunner. I mean, Biden was the establishment fake frontrunner that they have in all the polls. But I think Bernie would have won if he didn't have a goddamn heart attack and he wasn't already 78 years old. Sorry, I spilled a little vape juice. Let me clean this shit up. But now, Hillary is so power hungry and there's such an opportunity now, she is not going to pass that up for anything. That woman only stays breathing in order to eventually amass political power. That's her only goddamn motivation. David says Buttigieg does look like a homosexual serial killer. Well, don't profile white people, all right? I saw the other day there was a headline, the most prolific serial killer of all time. You guessed it, ladies and gentlemen. Black dude. I was wondering how to Google that, and I was like, most prolific serial killer of all time, best serial killer of all time. I don't know if there's a best serial killer of all time. List of serial killers by number of victims. All right. I think they were talking about it in America. The Wikipedia article hasn't been updated. They're showing some goddamn Colombian dude. Luis Garavito. Most prolific American serial killer. Samuel Little. Samuel Little is the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history, FBI says. 93 murders. Oh my God. And there he is right there, dude. Looking like Red Fox. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Gonna kill ya. Gonna slit that fucking throat. Come on, baby. And it looks like all a bunch of white chicks, God damn it. He's probably not a fan of identity politics, all right, but it doesn't excuse the goddamn horrific behavior. Tax Kettle says the reason they want guns is because they are so good for self-defense. Oh yeah, they don't want competition because if you're in the absence of legitimate self-defense, you have to rely completely on the tyrants to protect you. You just got to call the police and, wish upon a star, and they're going to show up in any reasonable amount of time. Don Morgan comes in hot with the black victimhood here. They banned open carry after the Black Panthers began doing it in California. Oh my God. Don Morgan says, if we want to stop the NRA, just give every black guy a gun. You're just plagiarizing Dave Chappelle's jokes. And the point of the joke is still false. Nobody gives a fuck what color you are, dude. Plenty of people want to own a goddamn gun. It's one of the best tools you can have. All right? And there's no replacements for it, usually. It's like having a goddamn hammer. You can kill people with a hammer. You can kill people with a car. Just ask Bruce Jenner. You know. But don't make a joke about it at the roast. No. You know. Gun is a tool. And it's a very effective tool. All right? Some psychopaths use tools in the wrong way. Burgess says, today I have a concealed carry permit, but I don't carry a pistol. LOL, feels dirty. Well, that's, you know. Yeah, I don't know how I'd feel about carrying a loaded goddamn pistol. That seems like you're asking for trouble. It seems like a little much. You know, but I can see like having one in your car or, you know, in a safe place in your goddamn domicile just in case, baby. You want that just in case too. Don Morgan says, bro, how many beers do you drink a week? You must stink. I don't know what correlation you're drawing there. It seems like Don Morgan logic at its finest. All right. I smell absolutely masculine. All right. I smell like, you know, the dragon energy that fuels Western civilization. Don Morgan says, Bernie is still going to win. Nobody's voting for a 78-year-old who just had a fucking heart attack. No. Hillary is going to swoop in. That's what's happening. Because otherwise they have Elizabeth Warren and she's just so defensive and ostrich-like. And she's just as hateable as Hillary. But at least Hillary has, you know, the pedigree of winning the popular vote last time. And so they're going to run Hillary again. She's going to swoop in at the last moment, you know, right as they try to extend this impeachment horseshit. And I saw that Nancy Pelosi said they wouldn't take a vote in the House. Pelosi, we're not having a formal impeachment vote at this time. It kind of seems we're a little bit thin on the evidence there. And all we really did was, expose Joe Biden's crimes. And we've, highlighted Hunter Biden's crack issues. All right. And we know Hunter Biden needs his crack money. All right. And that's what Trump was pointing out, pointing out the obvious evidence on YouTube that Joe Biden is engaged in some goddamn corruption. Getting prosecutors fired, dude. For that family affair there to keep the crack money flowing for Hunter. Hunter needs his crack money. Hunter needs his hooker pussy. Biden's going to bat for his son. It's very admirable. All right, but very corrupt at the same time. And they're not going to go forward with the vote. They're pulling out. It was all a political stunt to begin with just to see how Trump reacted. And once again, they keep losing to the orange man who's so bad. And so dumb. Oh my God, he's so dumb and they can't beat him at anything. Ugh. What does that make you? Cultural Marxist? I like how Don Morgan came right in as we exposed the most prolific American serial killer as a black man. All right, I know he was very triggered. Don Morgan says, and he just got AOC's endorsement. I got Bernie's back, as if that's some kind of endorsement that should mean anything to a rational person. That dumb cunt thinks the world's going to end in 12 years based on fake predictions that fake climate scientists have shoved into your fucking consciousness. They can't make predictions, dude. There's trillions of different factors that go into the climate. No matter how super advanced your goddamn computer is, it's not going to be able to predict the future. And all of their predictions have been consistently wrong. You know, an inconvenient truth from Al Gore. They said that New York was going to be underwater in 2013. Whoopsie daisy. You know, and Obama's still buying beachfront property and shit, you know, and Bernie's got the, you know, the waterside property. Oh my God, isn't it cute? They don't even believe their own bullshit, but Don Morgan believes it, you know. He's on board the Green New Deal. We got to stop the cows from farting. We got to stop the airplane activity. You know, we're destroying the planet with our goddamn wealth and prosperity. No. Humans are a virus on the planet. We're like mold on a sandwich. People like AOC and Bernie Sanders think that because they are mold on the sandwich. They are useless. They have no good ideas. They're right about them, but they universalize it to all of humanity, and that's where they go awry. You're the useless one who's coming up with this goddamn universalization of the idea. It's just a projection out of your own goddamn consciousness because you realize your own ineptitude fundamentally, but you don't have the courage to admit it to yourself. So instead you do the mental gymnastics of coming up with this philosophy that pretends like the rest of the world is just as useless as you are. No, we're not all career politicians. Some of us provide value. All right, some of us do Postmate activity. I provide value to rich people who are lazy, who want their goddamn food. And I got to open a window. The Outrage Studios, ladies and gentlemen. The fuck is up, Outrage crew? Woo! And I will open the phones up if Don Morgan wants to call in, but I doubt he wants to. He just wants to do drive-by shit talking. Don Morgan says he only got away with 93 murders because there were poor black women. Well, that's not what this article was showing here. Let me reopen the closed tab right here. The FBI released 5 sketches drawn by Samuel Little of unidentified women he says he killed. Looking pretty white to me. Not a lot of black color used in that goddamn sketch. Don Morgan has no facts. He just has, you know, emotional resentment. Burgess says Warren isn't going to make it. I mean, she's not going to get over the Pocahontas thing because she blatantly lied and then lied about the results and pretended it was a zing against Trump when she was like 0.00 nothing of fucking Native American. And it's just going to be a hilarious landslide. But, you know, the best case scenario at this point is for Hillary to come back in and, you know, she would provide... Actually, she would be, you know, she would provide the most legitimate competition just because she has the track record of getting the votes last year, or 2016, sorry. But it would also be the most hilarious because it's going to give the cultural Marxist and the you know, the leftist cretins, it's going to give them some hope again. I don't think they have legitimate hope in any of these candidates right now, which doesn't make the landslide very much fun. It's just going to be a beatdown, and it, you know, it's still going to be hilarious either way. But I want them to have some hope. You know, you don't get the feeling that any of the leftists have a whole lot of hope in, you know, weak-hearted Bernie or, you know, Pocahontas Warren, you know, or fucking sleepy, creepy Joe, dude. He's sniffing children. Hunter is sniffing crack, you know. They're just on that sniffing activity, dude. And when Trump sniffs their crimes, you know, we try to impeach Trump. Oh, boy. The deep state's definitely not against him. Oh, my God. Don Morgan says, all 5 are black. Are you fucking stupid? Dude, none of them look black. They use no dark shading in the goddamn sketches. They all look white to me, dude. They all have pointy noses. There's one that looks black. The one in the lower right-hand corner looks black. This one looks black. She actually has black hair. This one, possibly black. All right, black hair. But still 3 out of 5. Definitely not black. And Don Morgan's pushing the narrative of black on black crime. He's starting to finally get it. That's our biggest violence problem, damn it. We got to get we got to help the black people off the goddamn welfare plantation. We got to get them some freedom and get them some opportunity. And so they stop turning to goddamn drug dealing and gangbanging. Stop with the goddamn single motherhood, vicious cycle. David's talking about books about serial killers in Laurel Canyon. Laurel Canyon's a spooky place, dude. It's kind of cool living down the street from it. It's a spooky goddamn place. Tree says blacks created gangs, AIDS, and crack. Well, no, all right. Whoever developed the first government in human history, that was the original gang. That was the original mafia. And we're still, but they had the best public relations campaign. And so they pretended to be helping people instead of, wielding their dominance over them. Okay. Those were the original mafia. All right, and that's why we have sympathy for the crime movies and the mafia movies. That's why we love Goodfellas and The Godfather, because at least those are privatized criminals. At least they're honest about what they do. At least they're like, yeah, I'm a thug. The politicians pretend like they want to help you. Meanwhile, they have a sexual assault slush fund, and they're on Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island, and they're giving orders that kill hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people all over the goddamn planet. And they get off scot-free because, oh my God, they wear nice suits and they're presidential, and they have a wonderful articulate speaking voice. Oh my God. What up, sweet chin? Don Morgan says, you have an American flag in the back and support a president that sucks foreign dicks to get dirt on political opponents. Retarded. No argument. All he did was point. There's a YouTube video where Joe Biden's like, yeah, I withheld the funds until they, I wasn't leaving until that prosecutor was fired. My son's on the board, but I never talked to him about it. He's getting $50,000 a month. He doesn't even speak the language. He doesn't know shit about energy companies. But say, you got any children I can sniff, or what's going on here? I got 6 hours to kill, or I'm killing that prosecutor. I'll shoot him dead like a man in Reno. Sleepy, creepy Joe Biden Eastwood. Go ahead, punk. Make my son's day. Give him his crack money. Hunter needs his crack money. My son needs hooker pussy. You give him his hooker pussy. God damn it. Hunter needs it. Oh my God. All Trump did was point to the YouTube video and be like, hey, you might want to check that out. He's openly admitting on YouTube he's just committing crimes in the Ukraine. Might want to check it out. But But pointing out the crimes of Democrats, all right, it's a crime within itself. All right, just like the Russia probe, you know, you get too close to the Seth Rich situation, you get too close to the server situation with Hillary and her goddamn bathroom with the weak passwords. You know, her password was just husband is rapist, you know, and everybody goddamn guessed it. Wide open to foreign hacking, dude, and nobody gave a fuck. And the FBI wanted to investigate the DNC server, and they wiped it clean. With a cloth? No, bitch. We know what you did. And you start investigating that, and then it all comes out in the WikiLeaks, and oh my God, we got to start Trump as a Russian agent. Let's change the subject, you know. And all the goddamn, you know, propaganda drones at CNN get their marching orders from the cucked out, you know, Jeff Zucker there. Oh, Don's posturing like he's going to call in. We know he's not. We know he's not. But we still got to watch this Project Veritas video. Here's the goddamn number. Don Morgan says, why do you keep talking about crack? You're a gossiping bitch. Where's your proof? Dude. Hunter Biden reveals crack binge. Opens up about struggles with addiction. Right here, dude. Once in college, Hunter recalled buying crack accidentally and smoking it inside of a cigarette because, quote, I didn't have a pipe. Well, what else you gotta do? He told the New Yorker. Later, when he relapsed in 2016, shortly after the death of his brother Beau Biden, oh, we give an implicit excuse there. Oh my God, he lost his poor brother. He had to go back to the crack. He described buying crack again from a homeless person in Los Angeles and not sleeping for days because, quote, he needed a way to forget. Oh my God, blame it all on your brother. Rest in peace. All right, you're responsible for my goddamn crack appetite. There you go, dude. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden's a goddamn crackhead. Don Morgan says, now you're comparing Bill Clinton's rape victims to Donald Trump's rape accusers. And it's very disingenuous. Guess who flew on the Lolita Express to Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island? Guess who was on a portrait? Who was on a canvas in a dress in Jeffrey Epstein's brownstone? Now, we know Don Morgan likes to engage in butt activity with dogs. So we're not sure, you know, what his definition of rape is or consent. All right, but typically teenage girls held captive on an island. Rape victim. He's pretty legitimate, dude. The biggest goddamn pedophile, you know, financier, politically connected individual had this painting in his house. And Bill Clinton's on record flying on the Lolita Express 25 plus times, dude. Hey, what's happening? You're live. Who's this?
It was Don, nigga.
Hey, what up? Don't throw racial slurs at me, all right? I know your victimhood is overwhelming your consciousness.
Nah, listen. You don't have to put the act on. Listen, you don't have to put the act on for your viewers, bro. I know you say the word. It's all right. Listen, but that's not even what we're gonna talk about right now. That's not what we're gonna talk about right now.
What's up?
I just wanna like I just want to peel your retardation back layer by layer and
Like-
really get to know why you are the way you are.
Like-
Is that okay?
Like
Is that okay?
like LeBron's hairline. You wanna? Are we peeling back the the falsities here?
Listen, man, LeBron's hairline, I can care less about that because that shit's been going for like 10 years now. I don't fuck that shit. Listen. Okay, why do you believe that Bill Clinton has rape victims that do not exist, that no one has ever heard of, but Donald Trump can be accused of rape by dozens of women, and you do not believe one of them?
First of all, it's not dozens of women that have accused Trump of rape.
It's more than 20 women, bro. That's dozens of women.
Let's see. How many women? And what I was just breaking down is Bill Clinton was plainly connected.
Donald Trump has been, bro, he's been accused of rape at Jeffrey Epstein's party, bro. What is the difference with going to the island, being accused of rape with the man? Bill Clinton's never even been accused, bro. What you mean?
Wait, what? He'd been accused at Jeffrey Epstein's party? No, Jeffrey Epstein.
Look up, a 13-year-old girl, Donald Trump, bro. He raped her, bro.
Jeffrey Epstein came to Donald Trump's party at Mar-a-Lago. They took one flight from Florida to New York.
No. In New York City, bro, Donald Trump, look it up. You're misinformed, bro. It's okay. Just look it up, bro. Everybody can be wrong sometimes. If you tell me
Well, I've looked
right
up
now,
this specific thing before.
If I sound stupid right now, I would listen to you and change my mind.
Exactly the same. But you've demonstrated your lack of understanding in multiple different areas, so you can understand how I'm skeptical.
So we're gonna talk right now. Just go ahead and look it up. Let me know when you inform yourself. A 13-year-old girl in New York City, he raped her. Multiple women have accused him of rape. Multiple women. Would you hang around a man that's been accused of rape by multiple women?
13-year-old accused Trump of rape. But also,
why would you accept the president of the United States that's been accused of rape? I wouldn't even stand next to a man that's been accused of rape, bro.
Well, you have to understand. You have to understand that Donald Trump is one of the most hated individuals, and that's one of the left's big tactics right now.
Bro. That's for a reason, bro. Everybody don't hate the man for no reason.
That's one of the left's well, yeah, they're hating him because he's coming in as a political outsider, and they're all guilty of these crimes in the deep state and the political establishment, and they don't want him to expose it, just like he's doing with Hunter and Joe Biden.
He was going to run as a Democrat before he ran as a Republican. You cannot say he's a political outsider when he will do any fucking thing to get power, bro. You can't say that, bro. That man will fucking kill you for power, bro.
No, you can say that because he's not.
Up for a man that will fuck you over, bro.
You can say that because he's not a Democrat or he's not a Republican. He just saw what was going on in the political environment and stepped in, and he had the fame and the money to be able to do it.
He's not a Republican? Donald Trump is not a Republican?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm talking about ideas, dude. He ran on the Republican ticket.
Talking about ideas. He's an actual fucking Republican. How are you gonna say he's not a Republican? All right, listen, Nick. You need to start saying, "I do not think he is. I do not think this is." You cannot just say shit is what you think it is, bro.
Because he obviously hasn't reduced the size of the state.
It's actual facts, and that's how you feel, bro.
He obviously hasn't reduced the size of the state, so they in principle, a quote unquote conservative Republican wants to reduce the size of the state. He hasn't reduced spending. And, I guess the new conservative republicanism is, oh, my God, we got to go over and conduct all these wars in the Middle East. And, he hasn't accelerated that, but he hasn't stopped it like he said he would in the campaigns either. I'm not putting all my goddamn faith in politicians. This is what you don't understand. I'm an anarchist. All right? All I want...
I'm not putting my faith in politicians either, bro. But it just amazes me that you actually stand up for that dude, bro. Like, you're biased, bro. You're biased. You got to admit that, at least.
No, I'm not. I don't want the left in power because they're going to accelerate an economic collapse.
There is no fucking left. There is no fucking right. They're all fucking us over. And you only going after the left you're helping them, bro. You're helping the same people that you're saying you want to see this. Like, come on, man. It doesn't make sense, man. I don't know.
No, the right-wing political establishment are corrupt and psycho in a different way, but they're psycho in a military way. And also the left is as well. That's why the left.
There are people who have murdered people that support the same ideologies as the right. What do you mean, bro? Murdered people, bro. I don't know any fucking Antifa members who have murdered anyone, bro. White supremacists are killing people to this day, bro. Come on now.
Dude, Antifa wants a murder machine as their government. They walk around with...
Who have they killed, bro? Name one person they've killed, bro.
They walk around...
Even in Charleston, bro. Come on.
They walk around flying a communist flag that has over 100 million deaths to its name.
Can you name one person they've killed? White supremacists have killed hundreds of Americans, bro. They're terrorists, bro.
They're out there. They've done damage to people that could have killed them. They smashed people in the heads with bike locks and fucking.
I'm talking about actual lives lost, bro. What are you talking about? The dude just ran somebody over in Virginia, bro. He's doing the rest of his life in prison. What do you mean, bro?
Yeah, that was fucking 4 years ago. One person died in a piece of mayhem that only started because Antifa showed up. The mayhem only started because Antifa showed up. Those people had a permit to go up and assemble.
Oh, he only ran that bitch over because Antifa showed up. He would have left her alone.
That's what started the chaos. She was Antifa. She wouldn't have been there.
Bro, they were standing in the middle of the street. He came out of nowhere. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because there was a huge crowd there was a melee of people attacking each other.
And he ran through them. A sane human being would see a crowd of people.
Yeah, he was probably a drunk idiot. What is your point? What is your point that white supremacy is a big problem?
You're not gonna run somebody over, bro.
What is your point? What is your point? That white
a group of people protesting right now, bro. You're not gonna fucking run them over.
Yeah, I'm not defending that guy. He was a drunk idiot. Obviously,
he got drunk. What the fuck? You sober, bro?
He was an idiot. He was whatever the fuck. I don't give a... What is your point? That white supremacy is a big problem in America in 2019?
He supports the same people that you do. He supports the same ideology that you do. You are no better than a white supremacist, bro.
That is horseshit.
I'm not saying that you are a white supremacist, but you are no better than one.
What does that mean?
You share the same ideologies as them. What the fuck?
Oh, they're all libertarian anarchists?
Welfare plantations and shit. There are more white people on fucking... What do you mean, bro?
Yeah, you don't know what you mean because you don't understand statistics. There are not more white people per capita.
Statistics are per capita. You're talking about per capita.
Yeah.
There are more white human beings in the United States. Those white people...
Because there are more white people. We get it.
Welfare more than African Americans. If you fucking look it up, they commit more welfare fraud than African Americans, bro.
Oh my god, I'm sure per capita. Yes, of course, dude. Oh my god, you're the one that's getting caught up in this racial division. You're the one that's getting caught up in the racial division. They've hyped you up.
This welfare shit, let's be honest.
They've hyped you up. They've hyped you up to be obsessed with race.
A lot of people do not make a living wage to pay their fucking rent. They can't get groceries.
And whose fault is that?
It's real out here. You can't judge people.
Is that the taxpayer's fault?
I don't even use that shit. But I would never judge someone, bro.
You're a credit card scammer.
I don't give a fuck, nigga.
Exactly. That's that 70 IQ
I don't give
shit.
a fuck about the government. Do I owe the government loyalty? I thought you were an anarchist. Why do you care for
the credit card isn't the government. Credit cards aren't the government. The individual people you're stealing from isn't the government.
They get their bread back. They get their bread back in days, bro. The government gets that bread. They lose money. You don't even know how it works. Don't talk about it if you don't know how it works, bro. I can order some Postmates right now and make you deliver that shit, and I won't give you a tip. Get the fuck out of here.
You don't know how the statistics work, dude. You don't know how the fucking per capita situation works,
dude. Make an actual point, bro. I've made several points, bro. Make an actual point.
You think that white supremacy is a big problem in America when we have individuals that are supporting socialism?
People, bro. They murder people, bro.
Guess who murders people? Guess who also murders people? People who run socialist governments.
What African American has walked into a church and murdered a group of white people the way a white boy just did a couple years ago, bro? White supremacy is a fucking issue. Don't act like it isn't. Don't act like racism is.
What was that? What was that? 15 people dead? Are you really saying that white people are the problem with violence in America? Is that your point? White people are committing more violence.
I said what I said, bro. I made my point. You're not making.
Your point is empty. You're pointing to specific incidents that happen once every 5 years. That's like oh, this is the big problem.
The United States as a whole, bro. Let's be honest. From slavery, what point would you say was great for African Americans? Where it was wonderful to be an African American.
I don't think about things in demographics like that. I think about how things work best for everybody.
I said, at what point in the the United States.
I'm not talking. You're the one that brings the shit up.
To be African American.
I don't give a fuck what great point it is to have a certain skin color. I give a fuck about individuals.
After the Jim Crow laws, the FBI wanted to fucking and intentionally destroy black organizations, bro. Come on now, man. I can really drop facts right now. They fucking murdered Malcolm X, bro. They murdered President Kennedy. He was sleeping in his bed, bro.
Who commits the most murders in America, Don?
How do you murder a sleeping man, bro?
Who commits the most murders in America, Don? Who commits the most murders in America, Don? Who commits the most murders in America, Don?
Oh my God, this guy just said who commits the most murders in America. White people. You're talking about per capita, bro.
Which is the only thing that matters because there's more white people in the goddamn country. We're talking about behavior.
So they're gonna kill more people. So let's not talk about that subject, bro.
Yeah, because you don't get it. You still don't get it, dude.
Oh my God, you saying I still don't get it? Make a fucking point,
Oh
bro.
my
You're still
God.
talking about the same shit.
Black people are 13% of the population and represent over 50% of the homicides. That's an indication of behavior.
That's that fucking talking point that every weirdo on YouTube uses. Use the actual fact, bro. 13%? Okay.
It's not a talking point. It's a fact. There's a reason people say it.
Alright, let's use common sense for a second, bro. If you put really poor people in a close proximity within each other with weapons and drugs, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen?
And I'm not saying there aren't environmental factors that contribute to it, and a lot of it is the welfare state. A lot of it is the left people.
Now you're gonna blame guns and drugs on the welfare state?
People are gonna
people use the welfare more than black people. And they don't have guns and drugs.
You still don't understand the statistics. People are going to use guns regardless. They're going to get guns. And the gang members getting guns is an example of that. The government is not stopping them getting those goddamn assault rifles and high-powered weapons.
If there weren't gun shows in every fucking rural city and every rural town...
The guns are already out there. Oh yeah, it's white people's fault in rural America. It's white people's fault in rural America for their gun shows. Oh boy.
Make excuses for why guns need to exist, bro. There are no fucking positive outcomes from owning guns, bro.
How about somebody breaks into your house and tries to kill you? How about somebody
when you buy a pistol, bro, I own a gun, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'll say it, bro. When you own a gun, bro, you put your life in more danger. You're not fucking safe.
Maybe for an idiot like you. Maybe if you're an idiot, you put yourself in more danger.
Listen, man, you can say what you want.
Dude, keep that safety on, Don. All right, don't take the gun out and start cleaning it when you're done getting, the floor mopped with you with this argument, dude. Don't pull the gun out after this, dude. Guns are already out there. You're not gonna go around and confiscate guns. You're not gonna go around and confiscate guns from anybody. The guns are already out there. There's nothing the government can do. So all they're doing is creating more and more of a black market when they try to come after guns. Did Don Morgan drop off? Oh, he couldn't handle the smoke, dude. He just wanted to try to talk over the outraged chancellor and pretend like white supremacy is a big goddamn deal in America. We're getting into the second Budweiser here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to take an outrage piss. While I'm gone, watch out for white supremacists. White supremacists are lurking around every corner, dude. Watch your goddamn step. They might run you over. Watch out for those evil capitalist gangs coming after you now. Yeah, AJ says, how do you confiscate guns? With guns. They're effective tools, all right? And, you know, if you support quote-unquote gun control, you're not against guns. You're just pro only the government having guns. And, you know, it's very, you know, it's very, very much needed. We need to get the guns out of these evil white people's hands, of these murderous white people. Oh, my God. This bloodthirsty, you know, you drive through Beverly Hills, you hear gunshots and, you know, shootouts happening. And, oh, my God, you go down to Santa Monica. You go to the Santa Monica Pier and there's these roving capitalist gangs walking around in their suits and just shooting people. My God. Watch out for the goddamn Nazis out there, dude. Yes, Don is mentally oppressed. All right, he's caught up in the race, in the skin color narrative, and it's very sad. All right. What's up, Blob City? What up, Anonymous Anarchy? He says, ignite the marijuana. We might hit the pin once I get rid of this beer here. David says, I like how Don declares victory and then leaves. Yes, the narcissism of, you know, coming in with his rampant statistical misunderstandings and then doing a victory lap in his own head. Oh, James says, Don wants to ban guns and then swimming pools. There you go, dude. Oh, fuck. Yes, I'm very racist with my black girlfriend, or all of my black girlfriends, plural. Aaron Freeman says, Don is the smartest black man he's ever heard. Ellen James says, I'm getting real sick of these libertarian anarchists walking around with tiki torches, dude. Oh my God, the libertarian anarchist gangs are coming for you. Oh my God, they support the rapist president. They're coming to rape your kid. Oh my God, it's like a big gang of It the Clowns. The libertarian anarchists are coming in, dude. They're coming for your children. All right. And to keep them safe, you got to send them to government daycare that Elizabeth Warren is proposing. You know, you gotta put them in full care of the government, and then your children will be safe. All right, just like you put your own self-defense in the hands of the government when you give up your guns, and oh my God, you're gonna be so safe. Because we know nothing bad happens once you take the guns. Are we gonna have to pull up Alex Jones? Hitler took the guns. Mao took the guns. Stalin took the guns. If you try to take our guns, 1776 will commence again. Oh, what up, Juliana? Glad we're giving you some enjoyment tonight. She was hot on the trail of the CNN exposure there, sending me links, you know, she's on the James O'Keefe wavelength. Don Morgan says, you didn't disprove one thing I said, bro. Well, just because you don't have the IQ to comprehend what the fuck it is I'm saying to you, and you learn the phrase per capita, but you still don't understand what it actually means. Okay? We're looking at percentage of behavior based on demographics. But it's a very boring conversation at the end of the day, because we're just getting in the back and forth of who's worse? Is it, you know, white people or black people? Who's the demon? And it's like, no, the government are the demons. The people that Don Morgan supports and wants everybody, you know, wants to, you know, put a gun to everybody's head and steal their goddamn money and call it taxes for his victimhood mentality and to make him feel safe. You know, that heart attack Bernie has control of all his money. You know, Don doesn't know how to spend his own money effectively. He spends it on meth-covered butt plugs and, you know, dogs from the animal shelter to cornhole and, you know, and he spends it on, you know, new ways to credit card scam and everything. It's just, he's not good at spending his own money, so he'd really like Bernie to do it for him so he can get some free pussy. And Don Morgan's still going on about Donald Trump's rape accusations. It's innocent until proven guilty, dude. And it's all allegations. The Bill Clinton thing, it's not an allegation that he flew on the Lolita Express. Jeffrey Epstein convicted pedophile and child trafficker. Any qualms about what was happening? All the evidence is right there. That's why I make reference to Bill Clinton and his goddamn rape activity. Don Morgan says, yes, the government are the demons, so why do you support the president of the United States? Because he's not a part of the demon system. He's finally a legitimate president. Can't you tell by how much they hate him? Do you think the leftists are all up in arms? Oh my God, he got accused of misconduct. They're the main ones that do the misconduct. Did you miss the Me Too movement? It was all goddamn leftist Jews that got caught. All right, we got another call here. Hey, what's happening? You're live. Who's this?
Excellent. This is Kevin. Or K Burgess.
Hey, what's up, man? You're like the fifth fucking Kevin friend I have. Go ahead.
Well, I would like to start off by saying that Don Morgan is completely wrong about almost everything he said. I mean, he doesn't know what we know. You, Nick, I think you're an Austrian economist just like I am.
Yes.
And it's when you turn into something like that, you understand certain things, and it's I just don't think he gets it. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's the enemy. It's just I don't think he understands.
No, we have sympathy for Don Morgan. He's 20 years old, and he's figuring it out. I mean, I voted for Obama when I was 18. I didn't become.
Yeah, that's cool, whatever,
I didn't become an anarchist till I was 22. So you know his brain is at least 5 years away from being fully formed. We're just trying to give him the arguments for Western civilization here. We're trying to set him free. We're trying to give him opportunity. All right, but
that's what I'm saying. I think we have a unique opportunity here.
Well, it's just about you got to understand what's happening with the statistics and what the real threat to the country is. The real threat to a country is having a government grow too big to where it becomes tyrannical. If you've studied any history and the fundamental, if you know the fundamental nature of government.
Man. Hey, look, man. I know. Having a great big bloated baby Huey fucking government is not going to solve things. You want if you're going to have a government, for you, you're an anarchist, but if you are going to have a government, you want to be as sleek and as lightweight as possible, so it can go about and do its stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want this great big bloated fucking thing controlling everybody and everything like that. That's crazy, man. You want kind of like a jungle cat running through the trees, trying to that's what your government should be like. It shouldn't be this great big bloated retard that runs around being a hall monitor.
Yeah, it comes down to the control of your finances and of your self-defense. And once they assume that, they have complete control over you as a human being. And are you playing goddamn...
Yeah, that's true, man. Hey, I was watching the Democrat debates or whatever, and they kept on talking about healthcare. Healthcare. And it's why do they have such a hard-on for healthcare? And it's well, they know that if once they get that, then they got us by the fucking balls.
Oh yeah, they have control over whether you live or die, and you got to stand in the government lines and wait your turn, tax cattle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's look, when the rest of the world has a health system that can rival mine, then I'll listen. Until then, shut the fuck up.
Dude, are you playing techno music behind you? This is very goddamn aggravating.
No, I'm actually sitting in a quiet room. I even paused the video.
I hear techno music. I guess I'm playing the shit. My bad. I'm an idiot.
Okay, because I can kind of hear the distortion too.
I'm a complete idiot. I was playing the goddamn SoundCloud still on one of my tabs here. God damn it!
No, because I was if it was me, it'd be metal or something, anyway, I want to say that I think Don Morgan is completely wrong. I believe that he's been brainwashed by the left, and that I think that he is operating from a place of racial group or economic status instead of, understanding that we're all in this together and that we're fighting for our freedom here, because we're always going to be at war, because the rest of the world, they want to take us over. They want to tell us what to do, and we're not having that, and so we're always going to be at war. It's just, it's a fact, man. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I didn't do this.
Yeah, and we make racial jokes on the Outrage cast, and that's why Don Morgan thinks it's a white supremacy, vacuum. And it's hilarious that it's hilarious that he thinks that.
Like a white supremacy room. Like I never, that vibe isn't even here. I think that
because
I think that's a part of him. It's not us. I think that's him, man.
He thinks, like kind of like Don Lemon, same first name, same sexuality, it's all.
Yeah, really. No, I don't think Don Morgan's that bad. But I think he's getting there.
But we are a cult of the individual, which makes it, a contradiction in itself, all right? It's weird to lead a podcast of individualists, all right? But that's what we are!
Yeah, it's got to be hard, man. I appreciate you.
Well, yeah, it's Project Outrage, all right? We're developing the Outrage commune here, but, we're all remaining individuals. We're not, we don't define ourselves by Outrage TV, but we live it out through the principles.
Of course. I mean, like, all of us, like, every single one of us, like, we all bring something different. I'm not coming at this, like, as, like, some fucking public PSA. Oh, we're all different, we're all diverse, how cute. No. Like, like, we are all very different. Like, some are more different than others, like Don Morgan.
And it's like, dude, this government-run healthcare thing is so disingenuous because it's like you can go to any hospice with a cross on top of the hospital and get free care. That's a lot of what Ron Paul did in his life. Is he was a medical doctor and he would give people free healthcare.
Well, the healthcare thing's fucked up because they constantly say, "Oh, well, look at Canada's healthcare system." It's like, yeah, well, look at Canada's healthcare system. Like, I've seen it myself. Like, it sucks. And so it's like, do you really want to replicate failure? It's kind of like I'll tell you what, for Don Morgan, I'm going to give him special service for him. Like, if we were all Nazis, like he thinks that we might be, why would we replicate failure? Like, if I have something really awesome, why would I replicate something that sucks? Like, why would I fucking replicate Canada's health system when the American health system is the one that's providing all the innovation and technology? That we're the ones providing the cures.
Yeah, you want the incentive structure at play. You want the best surgeons to command the highest price. You want the expertise to rise to the top. You don't want the government stepping in and telling you which healthcare provider to go to, and then you're standing in a line
absolutely.
with your...
that has to be done by merit. You know what I mean? But it's like, look, like, let's say I didn't have health insurance, all right? Let's say I didn't have this Cadillac plan where I could walk out in the traffic and still live. All right, so let's say I don't have insurance. Do they honestly think that, like, that they're just gonna leave me on the side of the road to die? No, they're gonna drag me in and fix me up. I'm just gonna have a huge bill afterwards.
Well, if it's white people that find you, they're probably just gonna double tap you on the side of the road and just leave you like the piece of trash you are. Because there's no loyalty among the whites, and we are fundamentally evil. You must remember.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You and me, man, we got a problem about evil, man. Like, you blindsided me a while ago, and it's like I had time to think about the answer, and I think I have something for you if you want to hear it.
Go ahead.
Okay. You said that there is evil in the world. All right. You asked me, like, do you think that there's evil in the world? And it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? There's evil in the world. Like, there's, like, people who, like, mistreat animals and, like, people who like kill children, and like there's people out there that are bad. There's people that are doing bad things. That's evil. But at the same time, it's like like when you look at the universe, like all of it in its entirety, there is no intrinsic good or evil. All the good or evil seems to be coming from you, like what you put on things. And so it's like, is there a good and evil? Yes, there is. But is there an intrinsic good or evil? No, I don't think so.
I think it can be logically proved because because of the definitions of the words. So would you consider murder to be evil?
Yeah, but would I consider killing to be evil? No.
Well, that's not the same thing. Murder is an aggressive act. So not in self-defense. You're just picking somebody out who you, let's say you don't
know.
know.
Yeah, if I was just to draw some stranger out of a crowd and blow his head off, yeah, that's wrong. That's evil. Like I'm causing harm to somebody that didn't have it coming.
So there is an objective evil.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, you're absolutely right. You're right in everything that you're saying, but you don't, like what I'm trying to say is that, like, like the good and evil of people is that's real. You shouldn't be going around hurting animals and, like, molesting children. That's not cool. That's not good. You know what I mean? That's evil. Because you're causing harm to somebody. But at the same time, if we were to fucking take a step back, all right, and we're to look at the entire thing, you know what I mean? Good and evil doesn't actually, I mean, like, for the person on the street, good and evil should exist. But for me, it's like, I understand fully that these are things that we made up.
What do you mean? I mean, every concept that the scientific method, we made that up. That doesn't mean it has no value.
I never said, well, it doesn't. I mean, like, I never said it didn't have any value. I'm sure it has lots of value for you. But the thing is that, like, look, we had, like, please, oh my God, please, like, take yourself out of being a human being for a second. All right? Now, look at the entire universe.
Imagine I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter.
We got what?
I said, imagine I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. Keep going.
No, but I mean, we got a whole huge universe out here, light years, all sorts of crazy shit, man. And it's like, is there? When you look up at the night sky, do you see any good or evil in it?
No, because we don't have any verification that there are any living beings outside of us. No,
but who cares if there were?
Because evil is constituted by behavior among human beings. That's all it is in reference to. I don't know what you're saying. The evil in the universe. What do you mean?
Well, like, I'm looking at the universe, like what your ass is currently now sitting in, and I'm sitting here looking at it like, like I mean, you understand, like, a lot about me that, like, I mean, some of these other people probably don't know, is that I am an actual real nihilist, and that I don't actually think that there is any intrinsic purpose or meaning to any of this, and that the only meaning and purpose that we make is what we make on our own. And so what you consider evil is truly evil. But what the next guy considers evil might be different. And so which one is the true evil?
Because it has to be logically proven through moral philosophy. You can logically prove.
We've already done that. That's the whole ground, man. Like, if you step on somebody's rights, or you hurt them, or you impede them in some way, then that's an evil thing, and you're fucked up.
But you're still saying it's subjective.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. It's subjective.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But you're saying that you agree with me. I'm saying there are objective moral principles that can lead you to the identification of evil.
That's the crux of our disagreement. I think that there are no truly objective, because, like, look, like, us, like, as people, like, as men, like, we understand that there is good and evil and all this sort of stuff. But it's like, you know, like, I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I agree. But from a cosmic standpoint, it's like, you know, the universe doesn't give a blue fuck whether or not Earth exists or not.
You gotta smoke a lot of weed and grow out your hair for a long time, all right, in order to, you know, have credibility when you start your arguments from a cosmic standpoint.
No, really, think about it. I mean, you're in outer space right now. Think about it.
Right, but I'm talking about human beings on planet Earth, all right? The cosmos has no other biological life that we can prove for what we know. So that's all I'm talking about is the morality of human beings.
Right, the morality of people. And it's like, you know, when you look around the world, it's like you have a different morality for each region of the world, so which one's right?
No,
so
just because
we all have different definitions of evil, which one is the true evil?
Well,
or maybe they're evil.
It has to be logically proven. So let's do murder. All right.
Okay.
So you do not want to be murdered, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what makes it murder. Because if you want to be murdered, it's assisted suicide. It changes definition. All right. So we understand what murder is. It's an aggressive act on an unknowing individual.
If you walk in my office right now and blow my head off, like, that's murder.
Yeah. Okay. So we cannot say that how you do it is you disprove the positive. So, okay, if somebody was going to argue that that murder was a moral virtue, that it was good, well,
okay,
then you have to be okay with you yourself getting murdered, because you can't exempt yourself from the moral rule. If murder is good, you can go around killing all the people you want, but you can't. For the definition of murder to work, it has to be unwanted. And so to want to be murdered is to have a death wish. And so it changes the definition.
I can trip you up.
Go ahead.
Okay. In World War II, we were at war in the Pacific, as you probably are already aware. Like, you know, we were at war with Japan. And we were taking the islands constantly, okay? And, like, murder and killing are two different things. It has to do with context. You understand?
Yeah.
And so what happened was
I think,
we dropped...
Real quick, I think the only context that matters is if it's self-defense. If you yourself have your life threatened.
Right. That's where I'm coming from. Let's say it wasn't some crazy axe killer murderer guy walking into your house. Let's say I dropped you into the middle of a battlefield and everybody's shooting and you have to shoot too. And so you kill a couple of people. Is that murder or is that killing somebody?
I think the act of traveling over to the battlefield makes it murder, because it's not in the moment self-defense where you couldn't avoid the fight. You could have avoided the fight. You didn't have to go over there. You didn't have to enlist in the military.
I mean, like, let's take all that off. Like, let's put in the fucking, like, let's say it's a draft and you weren't able to escape to Canada or Mexico, and you found yourself in the middle of a battlefield and those guys are over there shooting at you. Like, what are you gonna do? You have to kill them. And it's like, is that murder?
And so I wouldn't say that it's murder on the part of the soldier. I would say it's a murder by proxy on the part of the individuals who set that plan into place and sent the soldiers there.
Maybe on part of the larger state, yeah, I can see that angle. But it's like, I mean, it's like, if you fucking parachute me into like some battlefield, everybody's shooting and it's crazy, and I drop somebody, like, I'm not going to feel bad about it because I really was defending myself. I really wasn't at fault here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that the self-defense thing, it is a principle for libertarians. Yeah. So, yeah, self-defense is legitimate.
But else, though. What were we talking about, man? We were talking about something, man.
We're talking about...
I had a really good point lined up for you, too.
We were talking about objective definitions of evil. And I was going to go through with rape and theft and assault as well. But...
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. You want to know something that, like like I've always sort of held to myself, you know what I mean? Like, it's that a lot of people think that the opposite of, all right, let me ask you, what would be the opposite of love be?
I think it would be indifference, because hate requires some attachment, and so it seems like it's the opposite of love, but you know, indifference would be the opposite of love to me. That you have.
You're good, man. You're fucking good, man. You're fucking good. You're the only one that has ever actually fucking answered that properly, and that's absolutely goddamn right. It's indifference. It's not giving a fuck. That's what does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I were to have intense hatred for you, like Don Morgan probably does, or if I was to have love for you, it means I at least care. In some way, I give a fuck in some way to hate or love you. But total indifference, like, I'll just run over you like a fucking ant in a tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'll just crush you. Like, you know, that's just completely different. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know where I was going with that, but...
Well, hey, it seems like Don Morgan wants to call in, but that's a good discussion. I think there is an objective definition of evil, and I think if you come to that objective definition of evil, look up Stefan Molyneux's book, Universally Preferable Behavior. It's like a 50-page ebook, but he breaks down the arguments super simple. This is where I got this idea. I can't take credit for this idea myself. Stefan Molyneux, Universally Preferable Behavior, when it comes to objectively defining morality. And I think if you find the objective definitions of morality, therein lies your meaning in life that you're searching for, is identifying the evil that's yet to be exposed to the unwitting public that's getting propagandized and
right,
beat down from.
I tell you what, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's like Stefan Molyneux, like I've heard a lot about him. Like I know he's a super smart guy. I know he's a top dude. You know what I mean? But as far as like me and you are concerned, as far as like good and evil are concerned, you know what I mean? Like I think we still have a disagreement, you know what I mean? But it's cool, it's alright. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get off this thing so other people can call in if they want. You know what I mean? I don't want to hog the line, you know?
All right, and Burgess has satanic rituals to attend to. You know, not that chicken isn't gonna skin itself, dude. You need the same.
That's right, man. You gotta get just a little bit of spice to life, man.
That goat isn't gonna chop its own head off. So we'll let Burgess get back, to the.
Yeah, that's right. I have a few infant sacrifices to attend, so I have to get back to stuff.
He's honoring the Aztecs there. All right, we love Burgess. All right, we'll catch you later, buddy. All right, Don Morgan, if you want to call in, if you're still hanging around with your resentment, all right, go ahead. Blob City says Stefan is 98% based. What's the other 2%, Blob City? I've been looking to poke a hole in Stefan Molyneux's logic for fucking 10 years, and I haven't been able to do it. That guy is just on fucking point. And he's like, the problem is he's not that inherently entertaining. He's just super smart and super witty. And so, like, he doesn't have the entertainment value that comes along with it that needs to spice up the ideas. I mean, for autistic people, he's pretty entertaining, but to the general public, I mean, he's kind of dry and kind of, intellectual. And I think that has contributed a lot to the slander against him. All right, here comes Don again. Hey, what's cracking, Don?
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey. So I think we're getting in this racial back and forth, and I don't think it's very productive. Like, no,
bro. That's not even where I was trying to take it. Honestly, that's not even where I was trying to take it. But that is you gotta be honest. The only reason why I brought it up is because it's the root of many issues that exist today, bro. It's like a lot of these things started out. I feel like if you really look at the United States, bro, on like a macro level, bro. A lot of these things that were made, a lot of these laws that were made just to spite black people, bro. They began to affect white people as well, bro, over time. We had the crack epidemic. You guys now have the opioid crisis, bro. Everything, it's a fucking cycle, bro. We do need to come together, but how are we going to come together? If there's people like you shitting on people that want better for everyone else, bro. What the fuck is wrong with Medicare for all, bro?
Because it's the government running it, and they take your money by force.
Bro, who else? All right, let's like, come on, bro. We live in reality, bro. Who else is going to run it? Us? Like, come on.
The companies that are
What companies, bro?
the private pharmaceutical companies and the private medical doctors,
The
dude.
private pharmaceutical companies that raise the fucking prices, bro. Bro.
Because they work with government.
Do you know how much insulin costs, bro?
Because they work with government. It's one of the most heavily subsidized industries. Listen, this is how healthcare used to work. Let me break something down to you for a second. Let me break something down to you for a second. Just 1 second.
The lack of government being involved in the process, bro. Of them even, like, you don't even understand, bro. Funding is from the public, bro.
Dude.
Funding is from the public.
We're
the funding that they used to create the drugs and do the experiments.
It's not voluntary, is the thing.
That's from the public,
It's
bro.
not voluntary. They put a gun to your head and make you fund it. That's not legitimate funding. But here's the point.
It's funding, though. It's still our money, bro.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same as a voluntary contribution.
I'd rather that go to equal pricing, Medicare for all, instead of a fucking war of $50 billion to a war that we don't even know. Like, come on, man. We don't even know why we're still...
Here's how healthcare used to work. You used to have your own doctor that you knew, you had a personal relationship with, and guess what? You didn't stop paying him until you were sick. So it's kind of like an
what time period are we talking about?
It's kind of like an incentive structure. I'm talking about Industrial Revolution, late 1800s, early 1900s, before the government got heavily involved in the healthcare system. And I know you're gonna tell slavery and oppression of minorities have nothing to do with the goddamn healthcare system.
Doctors are telling people to smoke cigarettes, bro. We can't do that, bro.
Obviously the science hadn't caught up. But listen to what I'm saying. This is how it used to work. You used to pay your doctor a monthly stipend. And then when you would get sick, you would stop paying your doctor, and then he had a legitimate incentive to come and make you well. How it works now is people get sick, and then they go in and they're like, oh, you can't deny me for pre-existing conditions. And they go in and expect all this shit. And what they get in return is management of their symptoms, and nothing actually gets addressed from the root of their problem. Like, a lot of these doctors are misinformed when it comes to nutrition and exercise and everything that goes into your overall health. It has to be a proactive thing and a personal relationship thing with your doctor, so it's not this removed government agency that's, dictating the whole thing, and then you got to wait in a line. Like the healthcare for all situation you're talking about?
Bro, my doctor is pretty good, man. My physician is pretty good, man. I'm just talking about medicine prices, hospital bills. Like, we're talking about Medicare, bro.
And if you want to keep the medicine prices down, the best way to do that, the best way to do that is to have legitimate competition in the market among pharmaceutical companies, and then you will get the best product for the best price. How it is now...
What are you talking about competition, bro? This is not a fucking game, bro. It's people's lives. What do you mean competition, man?
Competition, I mean meritocracy. Who do you want to work on your brain if you need brain surgery, if you have a brain tumor? You want the best motherfucker. You want him to be repped. You want him to be battle tested. You want him to have outcompeted the rest of his competition and made more money than the rest of his competition and dominated his competition. You want the top of the pyramid of meritocracy.
First of all, bro, let's be honest. I'm not even gonna Canada has better healthcare than us, bro.
No, people wait in lines. Stefan Molyneux, who I was just talking about,
they have better health. They wait in line because, bro, it's free. What the fuck? Of course, this shit is basically free.
Of course.
But the fact that it's better The fact that it's better.
The government is not efficient in anything they do. Tell me about the war on poverty and how much homelessness is going on in America. How well they've solved that problem. Oh, the efficiency of government. We're $20+ trillion in debt because of the inefficiency of government. But I was just talking about Stefan Molyneux.
We're $24 trillion in debt because there's fucking waste in every fucking aspect of the United States. You can't.
Yeah, the government. That's government debt. That's not anything other than the government, dude. They waste money. The private sector doesn't waste money because they have money to make. They have competition to beat. The government has no competition because they have all the guns. That's the point. They establish a monopoly and they dominate you, and then the biggest companies work with the government in order to cut out their competition.
No competition, man. I just want people to live better lives. You know what I mean? I just want,
If you want affordable goods and services, then you want competition because that's how you're going to get the best service. But here's the thing. I was just talking about Stefan Molyneux. He had cancer in his neck. He had a cancerous growth in his neck. He lives in Canada. He tried to get healthcare to fix his cancer in Canada. He was put on an 18-month wait list. And he ended up having to go down to Oklahoma, where I'm from, and he immediately saw a doctor and got it taken care of. Because you got the government out of the way.
I thought you did like anecdotal examples, though, because when I brought up, like, people murdering groups of people, you didn't like when I just brought up specific instances. Like, let's talk about the math numbers, though. People in the United States are dying daily because they cannot afford to take care of themselves. The shit has become a fucking business.
That's just a blanket statement. You have no data to back that up. If you
What do you mean? Look it up right now. You have a computer right in front of you, bro. Let's not act like we're limited.
So do you. You're the one that's making the claim.
I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone right now, bro. You want me to look it up? Right now? You want me to tell you how many people die right now because of the lack of healthcare daily?
And the healthcare system is already heavily subsidized by the government right now, so don't act like it's a free market here in America. But the main thing is, putting the government in charge of something that should be delegated to the free market is not going to make it more efficient because they are stealing your goddamn money in order to fund the operation. They're criminals!
When you say free market, what are you talking about specifically?
I'm saying voluntary interactions between consenting individuals. That's what I mean in the free market. There's no consent when it comes to the government.
That would not make a difference, bro. There would still be people who
you're concerned with consent when it comes to rape allegations against politicians, but oh my God, with consent when it comes to paying your taxes, it doesn't matter to Don Morgan. Just put a gun to people's heads and steal their goddamn money. Bernie Sanders is going to steal it all.
We're going to be here for as long as we live. You can't fucking do anything about it.
They said the same thing about slavery.
Bernie Sanders wants to make it better for you, bro.
They said the same thing about slavery, Don. They said the same thing about slavery, Don. They said the same thing about slavery.
What did they say about slavery? What did they say?
What are we going to do without the slaves picking the cotton? How are we going to get by? It's an integral part of the economy. How are we going to get by without slavery? Who's going to pick the cotton without slavery? Guess what? We have agricultural combines. We have innovative inventions that happened in the Industrial Revolution because we got past that moral evil. We got to get past the moral evil of government that puts a gun to people's head and steals their tax money because it creates a disincentive. It incentivizes people to be lazy.
How much taxes is taken out of your paychecks, bro? Let's be honest. How much taxes is taken out of your checks?
I'm allegedly, currently owing money to the IRS, that allegedly hasn't been paid. We're not going to get into it, dude.
Nah. Alright, so we're not gonna talk about that. I mean, they don't play about that. You can kill someone, but the IRS is a different thing, bro. Let's not talk about that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to identify is the corruption in the system.
Bro, that's the way life is, bro. You can't. There's certain things you can change. There's certain things you can't, man. There's always gonna be taxes, bro. But what I'm saying is, Bernie Sanders wants to change that, bro. He's going to raise taxes for the rich, and he's going to fucking. That is going to be true trickle down economics, bro. I don't know what the fuck Ronald Reagan was talking about, bro. But that you
do you have an iPhone?
You see the United States change? Do
you have an iPhone?
Yeah, bro.
Well, that's trickle down economics. You're welcome. All right.
Don't fucking do that. You said that shit already.
For the original prototypes of the iPhone, they were tens of $1,000s a piece for people to try out the prototypes. Guess who has to invest in
That's a
that?
prototype.
Rich
That's a
people.
prototype.
Yeah, to continue the research and development for the iPhone to make it mass producible, they have to invest in the original prototype.
That's not trickle down economics, bro. That's fucking hype.
No, that's rich people. What I'm saying is, rich people invest in the research and development. They buy prototypes that are exponentially more expensive than the mass producible object is.
So thank rich people for the iPhone. That's it.
Yes, and thank them that you can go get you can go down to Walmart right now and get a 60-inch plasma screen TV for like $200. That used to be $5,000.
There's people in my direct vicinity that cannot eat tonight, so I don't really give a fuck about that, bro. That's not trickle down economics to me, bro.
Well, here's the point. Here's the point.
I'd like to see a change in neighborhoods all throughout the United States, bro.
Here's the point.
Like, be honest. The United States is fucking terrible, and we might be falling off at this point. If you really think about it, I'd give China like 10 years.
No, hold on. Before you get into the United States at large, here's the point with Bernie and the taxing the rich. The rich have their money for a reason. They know how to make money. They know how to hold on. They know how to make money. They know how to protect their money.
You cannot be a billionaire without fucking someone over.
They don't know
Someone has to get fucked over for you to be a billionaire.
That's an assumption. Here's the point. You may have just provided something exponentially valuable for the rest of the population. But here's the point. We can debate that later. Here's the point. If you try to tax the super rich, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to move their company offshore where taxes are lower, we
not going to move their company offshore.
We already see it happening.
Jeff Bezos can spare it, bro. He pays no fucking business tax.
We already see it happening. AOC became a senator of New York and started to implement these taxes on the super rich companies. Amazon moved out of New York. All right,
Amazon has never been in New York. They wanted to come to New York, bro. They never came to New York. Everyone wanted it to happen. It didn't happen, bro.
But
never came to New York.
No. And here's the larger thing with China. That's why our companies are moving to China. That's why we have this big trade dispute with China. Is that Nike and all these companies move their businesses over there because they have a lower corporate tax. And so this is my point. So
you can't get that in the United States anymore, man. You can't get that. Child labor for such a good price, you can't get that.
That's what I'm saying. They move over to a country where they don't have the excess tax burden. I'm not. Say again.
They don't mass produce sneakers here in the United States. That shit has been in China from the jump, man. They never moved. They don't give a fuck, bro.
Nike didn't start in the United States. Nike didn't start in the United States.
Bro, of course Nike started in fucking Oregon, bro. But I'm talking about mass production. When they became an actual fucking brand that everyone in the United States wears, they've been mass producing since the fucking jump. You can't say that. You cannot name one.
I'm not talking about mass producing. I'm talking about moving their industry over to another country because they have less taxes. That's what they do.
When did Nike move their company over to another? When was that?
I mean, I can't give you a date. I haven't researched into Nike.
It never fucking happened, bro. That's how it has.
Are you saying that they don't make Nike shoes in Asia?
What'd you say?
Are you saying they don't make Nike shoes in China? Really?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying they've been doing that from the jump. They've never we have to take taxes now. We're going to Asia. That's not.
What does the timeline have to do with it?
Loopholes, bro.
What does the timeline have to do with it? They moved over there because there were less tax burdens on their company.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, bro. They did not move because of less tax burdens. They were there in the first place because there were less tax burdens. They never moved, bro.
Yes. The point is the taxes, dude. I don't give a fuck when it happened. The point is they moved there because taxes. The taxes were too high here. That's my point. And so okay. And here's the second part of my point. All right. They move their companies because of tax reasons. All right. And also the biggest companies outcompete their competition by making contracts with the government and getting government money, getting government subsidies, getting regulations passed that cut out their competition. And so this is what big money does. This is what big multinational corporations do when there's a big government there. If you're not taking advantage of that government, then you're losing out to your competition.
If genuinely wants to raise taxes, there's nothing they can fucking do about it. Nothing.
Say what?
If Bernie Sanders genuinely got in office and wanted to raise taxes, there was nothing they could fucking do about it. So I don't even care about all that, bro.
As soon as he gets elected, they're moving out of the country.
I think Bernie Sanders living for another 8 years, bro. That would be the best fucking 8 years if he likes it.
Why do you think that Bernie Sanders can spend your money better than you? Not that you pay taxes or anything.
Why are we talking about my money, bro?
Because you're the one who supports it.
He's going to be taking up the same amount of my money that Donald Trump is now, bro. The only taxes that's going to affect people are the fucking rich, bro. You're not rich. Why do you care? It doesn't matter.
No, it's going to trickle down to the middle class, is what I'm saying, and that was the third part of my argument. So companies move out of the country to get the less tax burden. They make alliances with the government to cut out their competition. And so they end up being tax exempt, like Walmart and like Amazon and like Netflix. They pay no tax because they get government subsidies on the back end, and they get so big that they make contracts with the government and they get those sweet backdoor deals. And so then the taxes, hold on, and then the taxes that you're expecting to go to the super rich, they don't go to the super rich. They trickle down to the entrepreneurs, the small business owners that are making $500,000 a year, and you think, oh my God, he's rich. It's like, no, he's putting everything back into his business. He's just trying to outcompete these big companies that have deals with the government and comply with all these regulations that come up. They're just trying to make a goddamn living and that's the strength of the engine of the economy in America is in the middle class.
He's barely getting by right now. He's trying to make a living.
Oh, you want to take money out of the middle class of the country, the engine of the economy, everything that gets produced in the small businesses. You just want to shop at Walmart and Amazon, and that's it because they have deals with the government and they're king made.
Bernie Sanders is going to attack small businesses. Have you? Be honest, bro. Have you?
He can't even not have a heart attack. You think he's going to tax big business, dude? He's going to get in there and work with them.
Many people have had heart attacks. Bro, do you think Donald Trump is healthy? They said the man eats McDonald's every fucking day if he gets the chance. It does not matter, bro.
He hasn't had a heart attack.
Do you know how many rallies Bernie Trump is doing in a day? Do you know how many rallies Bernie Sanders is doing in a day, bro? Or the least. Donald Trump is not doing that, bro.
He just came back for the debates. He had a heart attack. Are you really claiming that Bernie outworks Trump? Dude, what the fuck?
First of all, I can see Bernie Sanders beating the shit out of Donald Trump in a fist fight. I'm going to get that out of the way. Right? Bernie Sanders will beat the shit out of him.
Oh my God, I didn't think you could say anything more retarded than Bernie outworks Trump, but he would fight him too. Bernie is a 78-year-old Jew that just had a heart attack. And,
why do you have to bring up that he's a Jew? Why do you have to bring that up? He's just a man just like you are, bro. This is what I'm talking about, bro.
Because he's got low testosterone, dude. You can see it in his goddamn. Look at his goddamn wife. Look at Bernie's wife compared to Trump's wife. All right, that's a good marker of who would win in a fight.
Men, bro? We're doing childish. This is childish right now.
Dude, you're talking to a comedian. What the fuck did you expect?
Bro, do you see Donald Trump's little baby hands, bro? You're fucking biased, bro. Donald Trump looks like he never won a fist fight in his life. He looks like he's never been in a fight in his life. Why would you support a man like that, bro? He's probably never had to carry his own bags, bro. But you think he's just fucking hard American? Get the fuck out of here, man. Accused of rape dozens of times. You still haven't even looked that up. 13-year-old girl, you still haven't looked that up.
Well, I don't hold any credence to allegations that have no evidence or
you don't hold any credence to allegations, but you give a fuck about Bill Clinton getting on a plane with no allegations. That makes sense?
No, Jeffrey Epstein's is convicted pedophile and child sex trafficker, and he flew to his.
Trump's affiliated with him as well.
No, he's not. He flew on a plane one time from Florida to New York, and
he flew on a plane one time. He has his own jet. First of all, he's a billionaire. Right?
He didn't go to the pedophile island. Is all I'm saying. He
Second
didn't.
of all, Mar-a-Lago, they were affiliates. Third of all, I already told you about the rape case he was involved in at Jeffrey Epstein's estate, bro. So they're full-on affiliates. You cannot disassociate the man from him. Don't do that, bro. That's bias. Let's be honest. People in power are fucking rapists. Bill
No,
Clinton is a rapist.
he threw Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for creeping on a 13-year-old girl. I think is how it went.
No, he did not. That is a fucking myth, bro. It was over a financial dispute, and they did not. He did not come back to the club, bro. You cannot even name the girl that this is over. You guys, somebody just made that shit up, bro. Look it up right now. Look up that shit you just said and prove it to me.
All right. How one Epstein victim was said to be recruited from Mar-a-Lago and all other connections between the accused sex trafficker and Trump's Palm Beach resort. All right.
So you're gonna ignore that?
Although President Donald Trump has denied having serious friendship with the late Jeffrey Epstein, the financier definitely spent time at the president's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, where the two wealthy men lived nearby each other. A prominent Epstein victim, Virginia Roberts...
They were neighbors? Oh my God, imagine the parties, man. What the fuck?
Let's see. Ex-girlfriend Madame Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her in an Epstein sex trafficking operation where she worked as a locker room attendant at Mar-a-Lago in 1999 when she was 15. Trump and Epstein were filmed by NBC News in a now widely distributed clip from 1992 party at Mar-a-Lago featuring the two and a number of women, some of whom were NFL cheerleaders. The president claims he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for making unwanted sexual advances toward the young women, but the New York Times reported that their falling out may have been due to a real estate battle for a Palm Beach property that Trump won.
Okay then.
Well, the New York Times also said there were weapons of mass destruction. So let's go to their argument. No, there weren't. Did you not pay any attention? I know you were 12 years old when it happened, but there were no weapons of mass destruction in George Bush's administration. All right, the war in Iraq was a lie. All right, let's see.
The war in Iraq was a lie?
Yes. Did you not know this?
On whose behalf? Who lied? I'm just curious on what you think.
George Bush and the intelligence community claimed that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq under Saddam Hussein.
Republicans.
Oh yeah, I don't support Republicans, bro. I'm a fucking anarchist. I'm an anarchist. I hate all politicians. I hate George Bush. He's a war criminal.
Buddy, all right, listen, that's cool. I respect that. You hate all the politicians, but you only hate on certain politicians online, bro.
No, because
you give them the same amount of hate.
No, because Trump is not a politician. That's the entire point.
And they do more than Democrats to deserve it. Let's logically think about this shit for a second, bro. You talked about Hunter Biden at least twice or three times already. When Donald Trump is the president of the United States doing way worse shit, why are you so worried about this man, bro?
Smoking crack?
It's not affecting your life whatsoever. Donald Trump is the president of the United States, bro. Well, why do you not give a fuck?
Because they're trying to. Because they're trying to impeach.
10,000 lives while he's in office, bro.
Because they're trying to impeach Trump over Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's crimes, and it's retarded.
What do you mean they're trying to impeach Trump over Hunter? What? Okay, all right. Let's get this out of the way. First. One point. I'm asking two questions. Just please answer them. What crime did Hunter and Joe Biden commit?
Okay, so Hunter Biden was on an advisory board for an energy company in Ukraine. He had zero experience. He had zero experience in the energy field.
That got him into the position.
He did. Yes, and he was getting $50,000 a month.
What's the crime?
And Joe Biden.
That's a salary.
Joe Biden went over to Ukraine. He was the advisor to Ukraine in the Obama administration. Joe Biden went over to Ukraine, and publicly on YouTube, there was a prosecutor that was investigating.
Video about the prosecutor and his son.
There was a prosecutor investigating the company that Hunter Biden was on the advisory board for. He was investigating corruption at the company. Joe Biden went to Ukraine and said on camera he was not leaving until they fired the prosecutor. And he was withholding funds from Ukraine until they fired the prosecutor. And then he claimed that his son, he didn't even know that his son worked on the board. Meanwhile, they have photos of Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the people that led the Ukrainian company on the golf course. And they weren't talking about that at all. That's the crime.
All right, bro. All right. You still didn't name a specific crime. Like, you know, when you get arrested, they tell you what crime you committed. You didn't name one crime. But I'm gonna let that slide.
No, it's selling influence through the State Department. It's selling influence through the power of Washington.
That's not I never heard of that crime.
It's called treason.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
It's called treason, dude. It's called nepotism. It's called corruption.
Okay, nepotism is treason. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like, logically, politicians, bro, aren't shit. I don't expect them to be good people, bro. I do not think Joe Biden is a good person. But what I'm saying is, Donald Trump is just as bad of a person, if not worse, for hitting up Ukraine and asking for dirt on his political opponent, bro. He didn't give a fuck about anyone else. He gave a fuck about his political opponent.
He wasn't even asking for dirt. He just said, "Oh, you might want to check that out. That's obviously criminal."
Oh yeah. The guy that's running against me, you might want to check him out.
That's obviously criminal.
Fucking low, man. You supporting that shit, bro?
I'm supporting keeping the left out of power because I don't want an economic collapse, bro. That's what I don't want.
What the fuck? Bro, you know what? Yo, son, like, this shit don't even make sense to me. Like,
well, because I've studied Austrian economics for a long goddamn time, and I've studied economics for a long time, and I see the markers happening in society that are just like what happened in the 2008 crisis. The banks, we let them off the hook. Obama let them off the hook. They are doing the exact same things they were doing before the 2008 crisis. We have even more bubbles now. We have bubbles in the student loan situation. Nobody's paying back their student loans. There's all this, malinvestment going on. The degree.
Why do you think that's happening, bro?
Because the universities have degraded over time because they've slipped into this, identity politics, social justice horseshit that gives you no legitimate value in the free market.
Extremely high tuition and then the fucking student loan traps. You're not going to blame it on that.
Well, the high tuition is a result of government intrusion, and what? I don't give a fuck if it's Democrats or Republicans, dude. It's government. It's the people that are stealing your goddamn money that are getting in.
You only want to see the left out of power, so that's the fucking oh my god. You specifically said the left just now.
Well, yeah, because it's a dichotomy. I don't
give a fuck if Democrats or Republicans. Which one is it, bro?
Well, I wouldn't want an establishment Republican in there either. I wouldn't want anybody else but Donald Trump right now running on the right either.
Confused, man. Bro, Donald Trump has told over 10,000 lies while in office. That's the person that you would choose out of all the educated people in the United States.
Say again?
All the fucking geniuses. Donald Trump has told over 10,000 lies while he's in office, bro. Look it up.
Killed 10,000 people?
10,000? I didn't even believe that shit.
He hasn't started any new military conflicts. It's all been continuation of old shit. He hasn't started any new wars.
The man is fucking retarded, bro. Let's be honest. He said there were.
Yeah, he's retarded, but the entire leftist and media and deep state establishment can't outsmart him. Oh my god, he's an idiot.
I don't expect MSNBC to outsmart anything, bro. All that shit is fucking stupid to me. So you just preach it to the choir. But what I'm saying is, he's a fucking idiot, and you support him, bro. Can you explain that statement he said, bro? Why did he mention airports in the Revolutionary War? He was there. By that logic, he would fail a middle school social studies class. And that's the president of the United States. You support that.
I support the delegitimization of the office of the president because it needs to be delegitimized. I don't.
Showing how much of a joke this shit is.
Well, that's part of it, but he's not an idiot because he is an expert at marketing and branding and talking shit. He won the presidency when he ran for his first try, dude. You can't say that's not an accomplishment to run for president on your first try and win.
What'd you say?
I said you can't say that's not expert branding to do what he did with his campaign and come in and talk about what nobody else is Stop calling right now. We're talking to Don Morgan.
Bro, he literally just fed into fucking racist and ignited a hate that was so hidden when Barack Obama was president.
Oh, a hate that white America saw that they were getting demographically replaced through immigration. Nobody was talking about the illegal immigration. Nobody had the sack to talk about illegal immigration.
Is that your kind of branding? His whole campaign was lied. I thought Mexico was gonna pay for the wall. He said that shit like 20 fucking times, bro. Who ended up paying for it? Us.
And we do it through and we do it through trade. The trade deficit with Mexico.
It's $50 billion, bro. What are you talking about? Trade? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh my God. We lost money. The United States. I thought Mexico was gonna pay for the wall. What happened? Can you explain? Like, he says shit, he doesn't follow through with it, and you guys just create an excuse and move on. Act like it never happened, bro. I never seen no shit like this, bro. Like, come on, bro. You make me believe. You make me believe.
I'm an anarchist! I just love Donald Trump because he pisses off the goddamn media and the deep state. Do you not understand that I'm not here sucking Donald Trump's dick? I don't give a fuck. I'm an anarchist.
You are sucking Donald Trump's dick when you fucking get on the... Yo, bro. You ride Democrats' dick all day, bro. Every time you fucking start with these lives, it's you cracking jokes on a Democrat every time. And I don't mind.
Because they're the most insane.
Admit that.
They're the most insane.
You won't admit it.
They believe in socialism, the shit that's killed over 100 million people with communism over time, dude.
Who's they? A democratic socialist and a socialist are two different things.
Oh, one has a country of people so retarded that they'll vote for the evil. That's the difference. Oh my God, we've propagandized you so thoroughly, you'll vote for the evil. Oh my God, that makes it better.
What is so evil about socialism right now?
Theft! Theft is what's evil, dude.
What'd you say?
Mass theft. More government control over your own person. You not able to make your own decisions or spend your own money because the government makes your decisions for you because you're not confident in your ability to succeed in the meritocracy and compete in a legitimate free market. And so you want the government to step in. You want daddy government.
The decision. You would rather people make the decision to go bankrupt and lose their fucking life. Fucking around.
You're assuming that has to happen to people and there can't be legitimate charity.
It happens to people every fucking day, bro.
Yeah, because there's no legitimate charities because everybody expects the government to take care of it, and the government does a dog shit job at taking care of it. They don't solve poverty; they profit from poverty.
Power that actually gives a fuck, bro.
No, we don't need anybody in power. We need people with legitimate skills and capabilities.
Right now, bro. I know you feel the burn right now. It's okay, man.
Feel the burn. I know you want your money to be stolen from you. I don't know who the fuck keeps calling in, but I will tell you when my call with Don Morgan is done. All right. God damn it. No, I appreciate you calling in. I
fuck with you, bro.
No, I like the pushback because that's the only reason, and that's the only way I get to, really that third and fourth level of what the fuck I'm thinking and how to justify it. So my whole thing is I think that taxation is theft, and I think that everything becomes more inefficient when you allow that to happen at the beginning of it. And I think if there was voluntary interactions like the free market, we could all get along a lot better and have nobody put guns against our heads to make us fund something that we may disagree with. I just think that things would work a lot better and everything would be a lot cheaper and everybody could get taken care of. I think we could have legitimate charities if we didn't already pay all this tax money.
Everything would be cheaper. You can't say that, man. You're saying what you think. There's facts, bro. The way things are right now, the United States would only last so fucking long, bro. It's only gonna take so fucking long before the middle class and the lower class are gone, bro. Like, shit is bad, bro. I know people going through real shit because they don't have healthcare, bro. Like, Bernie Sanders, she's not lying, bro.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that pisses me off is that government comes in and claims to.
Right now isn't working. So we still follow the same laws from dickheads who didn't even have toilet paper, bro. We need to do better, bro.
I'm saying government comes in and claims to want to solve the problem, but they're really getting in the way. The bureaucracy is getting in the way.
This is the government, bro. You don't see how CNN and NBC try to fucking. Bro, they try to delegitimize him at every chance, bro. When this same deep fake that hates Donald Trump, listen to what I'm saying, bro. Listen to what I'm saying, right? When this same deep fake that hates Donald Trump tries to fucking diminish and damage Bernie Sanders' character, you should see that he wants better for the United States. They hate that shit. They trying to fuck with him, bro.
Well, here's why I think they're against Bernie is because they don't think that socialism can win a general election, and I think they're right. I don't think.
No, bro, because he's a legitimate threat. They said that. The DNC said it themselves, bro. He's a legitimate threat to the way that they run things now.
Well, everybody I've talked to that's on the left seems that's wants a populist candidate and wants a non-fake candidate. They want Bernie Sanders, but my point is, they're going to conspire against him, and he's not going to win the nomination again because they don't want to run a socialist ticket. They don't want that. But it might happen this time because, you know, the whole new crop of insane people in the Democratic Party are hard left socialist. And so AOC is supporting him, and the whole squad, you know, they're in there and they want to support him, you know. And so it might happen this time for Bernie, and we're getting multiple other calls, all right? But, you know.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna hit you up, bro.
All right, it was good talking to you. We gotta, you know, I'm glad we got over the original tensions. Maybe we'll be able to, you know, talk over each other less and have, you know, some productive discussions here. But, you know.
Yeah, no, we good, bro.
We appreciate you, Don Morgan. We appreciate you. All right.
Later, brother.
All right, have a good night. All right. Call lines are open, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in. Sweet Chin says, we are all gathered here today. We all gathered here today to help Brother Don. Free your mind, Brother Don. Can I get an amen? Hashtag free mind. Oh, no, don't turn me into a black preacher now. Thank God Almighty. We are instilling the freedom in you, brother. The spirit of 1776 will compel you, ladies and gentlemen. You will be infused with the spirit of Thomas Jefferson. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Hitler took the guns. And if you try to take our firearms, we will make sure 1776 will commence again. Fuck, dude. Everybody who was trying to call in, call back, dude. Skeezer says, does Nick even have weed? Nick has weed. We're getting ready to hit the weed. All right. And I do got to take an outrage piss. All right. I do got to take an outrage piss. So hold off on your calls for, you know, one more minute. I shall return. Sweet Chin says, did you know Bernie is a Hitler supporter? Well, the National Socialism there. You know how it goes. Oh, yeah. Well, if you'd like to call in, ladies and gentlemen, the lines are open. All right, the weed is being hit. Oh. David says, what does he mean the lower class is going to be gone? What on earth does that mean? Well, if we had an actual free market, we might get out of poverty. You know? We're trying to help the dispossessed, all right? And the oxymoron is that getting the government out of the way who claims to want to help the dispossessed will actually help the dispossessed. And the government are the criminals that profit off of your desire to help the dispossessed, and they don't actually follow through with it, as we can see with the war on poverty. They're fraudsters. All right? Everything they claim to do is the opposite of what's actually going to happen. It's the inverted reality of stealing people's money. Doesn't lead to good incentives now. Oh boy. And Vanessa has a white daddy complex. Oh my God. Sounds like all the women the outraged chancellor loves hanging out with. Fuck. Denise says the middle class will be the target of the globalists, leaving a slave class and a ruling class only. Yeah, the focus on income inequality and redistributing, wealthy individuals' resources to less wealthy individuals to the poverty class will only end in disaster. Because as I was explaining to Don Morgan, the rich either, move out of the country, all right, or they make deals with the government and get those sweet zero tax incentives. And then it doesn't matter, and all the taxes go down to the middle class who were competing to keep the, larger corporations honest and provide an upstart alternative to those big companies. All of a sudden, they get hit hard with those 70% taxes. Oh, boy. And the middle class is dissolved, and everybody cries. But yeah, targeting the middle class is how you take out, it's how you destabilize an economy. Because those are the upstarts that have, gotten really popular, and they're challenging the old guard of big companies, and there's that natural turnover that happens in capitalism. One thing we haven't done already, and I actually want to watch, let's watch this CNN expose, since I put it in the title. We haven't played the video yet. Let's do this. So, James O'Keefe, Project Veritas, Part 2. CNN leadership picks winners and losers on eve of debate. They, in parentheses, CNN, like Warren a lot. Oh, boy. Old Pocahontas. She's going to get in there. Can you imagine? Dude, whoever gets on this debate stage with Donald Trump, it's going to be a bloodbath. He's pissed off from the Russia hoax and the goddamn horseshit impeachment attempts, dude. You can tell he's cutting loose in the goddamn rallies. He's calling Hunter Biden a loser. Joe Biden, he's never been known for being smart and competent at anything. And dude, Joe Biden sniffs children. Hunter Biden sniffs crack. All right? Let's see what CNN does.
Who is CNN unfair against right now on the debate?
I think probably Gang or Klobuchar. One of the lesser ones. Just because they're going to talk about Biden and Warren, Sanders. They're not going to mention others.
CNN's obviously pro.
They want to cover the people who are at the top. They don't want to cover the bottom.
CNN might.
CNN, I think it's like Warren a lot. Like, it seems to be more pro right now because he's in second place. When you're Bernie is third, Pete's, Kamala and Pete are like tying, are like back and forth with Gordon.
You can be a Republican, Democrat, whatever. That's fine, but it's very obvious. It's an unwritten rule that if you are,
First of all, the heartbeat, so unnecessary. They make it seem like it's the climax of a thriller movie. Oh my God. But yeah, see that? Oh, we like Ward a lot. You know, we've been hitting the peace pipe. You know, we know it. We don't think it's gonna come back to haunt her. You know, it's gonna be fine. You know, she's gonna break that glass ceiling. It's her turn.
center right, or heaven forbid, full right Republican Trump supporter, then you are not welcome at CNN.
So this is Jeff Zucker, Mr. President, handing down the agenda. We need to take away the president's free speech on social media. You know, it's very important. Push it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually came to CNN a registered Democrat. I campaigned and voted for Bernie in the primaries of the 2016 election, but I still consider
And then I started eating meat and doing dips, and my mind started changing.
myself a Democrat when I came to work here. And from what I saw, it totally rocked my world. Spent many sleepless nights just wrestling with the fact that all that I thought I knew and hoped to be at CNN is...
I started to log on to Reddit and go to the Donald subreddit. Oh my God, I was reading 4chan. I got radicalized. Oh no.
was false.
Why don't we show a Biden rally
The memes were too hilarious.
or a Warren rally in
We don't.
We don't. So, but we still on Trump's side, even when he talks about the economy.
They probably think it's boring. I mean, Biden rallies are like, ugh.
Yeah, Biden rallies.
People would change the channel.
Well, Biden's rallies are actually daycare, so.
No, say whatever you want about Trump. He puts on a fucking show at them goddamn rallies. No politician is riffing off the cuff for 90 or 100 minutes. Just talking shit about anybody and everybody and all the goddamn deep state criminals that are coming after him. He's that rose comic president.
Biden's rallies, he's like, it's great to be in New Hampshire. Joe, you're in like North Dakota. You're like not New Hampshire.
Oh, dopey Joe.
Kamala Harris when she was running for Senate in California. I can tell he also likes Biden.
Oh, Zucker likes Biden. Ugh.
I think the one they don't like is Tulsi. Yeah, they don't like Tulsi Gabbard.
She has some credibility.
But the Yang people have like a conspiracy, like, saying I hate Yang, man, I don't want his. I think that's what I was kind of reading.
We see that money.
I think it's like Warren a lot. Bernie is third. Pete's.
I'll tell you this, Joe Biden has a problem because his son was trading in his name. It's not illegal. Nothing is illegal about it. I don't know. I mean, you're benefiting from your father's name. You get that fat cat spot, dude. All right, anyway, they catch the you got to go and watch the video because there's so many, undecipherable audio parts. But it's like, and it lays out the goddamn subtitling for you. And we all get it, dude. The CIA media, they're just for laughs. All right, they're long past the bastion of any kind of real journalism, but integrity to any kind of facts, anything with just anonymous sources in the CIA told us this exact thing to say. What's different than that? That say anonymous sources said these are our talking points. They told us this is what happened, and they did it with a steely-eyed look, and they had a lot of sway in the organization, and so I said, okay, I'll go along with it. Dude, these media people are just... They have these intelligence agency people, like the CIA hasn't been caught doing MK Ultra or like planning false flag attacks and like destabilizing foreign regimes and like doing all this manipulating and political chessboarding and just taking liberty, dude, and whatever the fuck we want. And we're like, oh, the most trustworthy sources, anonymous sources have told us. They're trying to cook up some dirt on the president, and it's just a litany of goddamn supermodels and porn stars. God damn it. We just keep running into the same shit. We tried to write the James Bond fan fiction about the Russian hookers and the pissing, and turns out we can't just make up a story and then have people believe it. It's very troubling. Just don't Google Seth Rich. Don't Google WikiLeaks. Don't look up real journalists like Julian Assange. Exposing governments, political parties on the right and left, their criminality. Getting conjugal visits from Pamela Anderson, allegedly. In the goddamn embassy, dude. Julian Assange is a bad motherfucker. He's a legend of Western civilization, dude. That's what a real journalist looks like. And it sure seems like when you look at all the evidence that Seth Rich, who was a Bernie supporter who worked at the DNC, got disillusioned when he saw the proof in the emails that they were conspiring against Bernie and they wanted Hillary instead. And we're just trashing him. He leaked that to WikiLeaks, and that's how those came about. It wasn't because of Russian hacking and $4,700 of money on Facebook and Vladimir Putin. It was Mr. Burns hands rubbing, vodka chugging, dude, and planning goddamn election hacking. No, it was Seth Rich. That data was transferred. And you can fact check me on this. I'm pretty sure this has been reported that the data was transferred to WikiLeaks at such a speed that it had to be from a local source. It had to be from a flash drive. That it definitely was more indicative of a local source than from a overseas hacking. Or the damn Russians. And then Julian Assange alludes heavily multiple times, even though he doesn't want to give up his sources, alludes heavily multiple times after Seth Rich is murdered that Seth was the source of the WikiLeaks. But of course, Seth met his fate with a couple of Clinton-financed thugs in the street. Politics is a dangerous game. Some would say vaping is a dangerous game. I think I think I have a better chance of getting suicided by the Clintons. But it's a good cover story. Like, they'll come in and, you know, find me in some autoerotic asphyxiation harness with a shotgun blast to the back of my head, and they'll walk in and be like, yes, it was clearly the vaping that did him in. You know, put my vape in my hand. There it was, popcorn lung. 16th case this month. All these anti-government YouTubers. You know, popcorn lung is rampant. I've not forgotten the text chat. I'm just very goddamn stoned. I love the Outrage crew, dude. But, you know, we gotta get some damn water here and get some rest. We gotta go out there and make that Postmates money tomorrow. We gotta make it happen, dude. I don't know where heaven is. I don't know where the money is. We gotta make the money. Alright, PayPal.me/Outrage TV if you want to contribute to what's going on here. If you hit that like button if you like what we're doing. You know. Hope y'all had a beautiful Tuesday. Hope y'all have a beautiful Wednesday coming up. I gotta get some rest, though. I gotta get up and make that dough. Get out on the Postmate streets and make it happen. It was a fun time. We'll take more calls probably tomorrow night when I got a little more energy. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, check out that full CNN expose video. We covered a little bit of the goddamn debates, but it was like, it's just so boring. They're all gonna get smashed by Trump in a landslide. And like, it's just a pick of like who it would be funnier to watch lose to Trump. And I think ultimately it's gonna be Hillary losing for the second time. What happened? Part 2. Let me go on The View and explain why we couldn't get enough fucking illegal immigrants out to vote. You just sign them up under fucking dead people's names. It's what we do. Joy Behar's like, we do? It's what we fucking do. She's smoking a cigar and shit. She just doesn't give a fuck. We tried to frame Trump on that Russian shit. I had that fucking British guy write that thing. Yeah, it didn't work. What an asshole. We didn't get enough illegals out to vote. Oh my God, dude. Alright, everybody. I gotta sign up for tonight. Rest the fuck up. We shall return tomorrow. We shall defend Western civilization. All right. I love you, bad motherfuckers. Peace out.